Okay, there we go. Bro, I was so messed up. Trying to see something. Yeah, I think that's right. I haven't been on Discord in a little while. Like a good little while. I'll go back. I almost forgot my settings. Like, how the fuck do I do this shit? Hopefully I did it right. Ugh. I hope I did it right. Alright, let's see. Start recording. Start virtual camera. Virtual camera should be on. Is my video capture device? Oh no. Let's see. Then we go Mia. Then we go Mia. Because we're always going to start off with Doobie's. I don't even know if this is Doobie's fucking thing. I just keep saying Doobie's like it actually is. Give a fuck, we're gonna watch together. Let's go to Conspiracy.
That's right.
Who has a
What the hell?
conspiracy theory?
Yeah, you're talking about people being
I got a
racist and
conspiracy
like
for you.
fucking Jewish. Like,
Dude.
See, the thing is, I'm actually running out of conspiracies because they all turn out to be true.
Such as?
Brown space lasers.
Such as?
being
The
Such
COVID
as
virus
your
came
ass.
from my lab.
There's this
The
theory,
COVID
there's this
vaccines
conspiracy
don't
theory
work.
too.
Dude, I'm just
Ever heard of it? It's called predictive programming, so that's a conspiracy theory as well.
The
So
COVID
it's like
vaccines
all
don't
this-
work.
Yeah, me
Virus came from my
bashing a
lab.
kid over the head with a bat
Inception
was
of
all
theories.
it was all my fate. It was my fate. It was
It was
pre-programmed.
my
Why,
fate.
why
You
don't you
guys
guys
are
listen
the
to
God
the
knew I was gonna do that.
It was
You're
predestined.
literally
It
eating
was
roses.
Why'd you smash that kid's head with a pan? Oh, it was my destiny. God willed
It
it.
was a conspiracy.
I was
theory, but it's
predestined.
kind of
I was
okay, I knew it
predestined
would
to do
happen.
this.
I knew it would happen. Don't worry about it.
And some girls have got different shapes, right? And I used to think, oh fuck, man, this girl's a slut because she's got a big hanger, but it's got nothing to do with that. They just
No, that's
it's-
hormones.
Yeah,
Hormones
it's
and
just
genetics.
who they are. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I
Hormones
reckon
and genetics.
the bigger girls have got the best pussies. I reckon. From
That's
experience.
interesting.
Yeah, the most of the really skinny girls, like the ones that like they're all bony as fuck, like really small, like size 6, 7s and stuff. Like they got outies. It's because they got nowhere to hide it on their body. I like bigger girls.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying they don't have anywhere to hide it, but I mean, I think it's just genetic. Either they have innies or outies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just.
I love myself I love myself an Audi. So good.
That's so funny.
Honestly, I don't think I enjoy sex really. I think it's just weird.
Going for on
It just seems weird, like, I don't know, having sex.
Oh, can I ask you a question, right? The last girl I was with, right? She was a fucking sprayer, right? And I swear she was pissing all over me all the time, and I'm like,
Isn't that what it is? Isn't that what, like,
Yeah.
pee?
Yeah, partly. It's partly pee.
Mostly.
Yeah, but
Mostly pee, I think.
It's coming
maybe.
from the.
What did you ask? I'm sorry, I missed it. What'd you ask?
So I asked her. I said, "Are you pissing on my sheets or what?" And she's like, "Nah, it's not pee, blah blah blah," and it stinks like pee. But then like I was doing her on my kitchen table, and I had her up, and I'm like, oh, I pulled out, and she sprayed everywhere, all down my dishwasher and shit. And but it would come from the bottom hole, so it wasn't actually from a top pee hole. So
There's it still contains some urine.
It's mostly urine.
Well,
Yeah,
mostly
it's
urine,
mostly
yeah.
urine. Yeah, it's supposed to
You,
be urine.
you guys
Isn't
don't
it-
sound like you know anything.
Well, no, it's like I know this one chick
You
that I was with
definitely
used to tell
don't.
me. Oh no, I do. So like apparently like when you're about to orgasm, you're like supposed to hold
love
the
you.
sensation. Like you're not supposed to actually piss, but like it kind of makes you want to piss. So some girls just piss and they call it squirting, but it's them actually pissing a little bit.
Yeah, it's just it's
Yeah.
like if you pee while you're coming as a man, it's just like
But you know they got 3
I don't think
holes,
that's
eh?
possible as a man. Is that? Oh, dude, I feel like that's dangerous. If you pee while coming as a man, isn't that like a big red flag?
It is because in the urine, because in both of those two different, injection of bodily fluids, there's a substance that is unique to each of them that helps clear the pathway for the other one. So, yeah, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So that your urine will clear the pathway to help to clean out for if the other one is still existing in there, and if you're going to have the other type of bodily fluid, then there's something in there that will clear out the urine.
Maybe the girls can answer.
What do you want me to answer?
What am I? What?
Have you
what
ever
is-
squirted before?
Scientifically, it's urine.
No.
It's
Yeah,
urine.
but does it come out of your piss hole or does it come out of your the
no,
hole
it-
at the bottom where your
piss
dick
hole,
goes in?
it's urine.
Because I've seen like the girl I was doing, it was coming out of a bottom hole, man. Like I'm talking like fucking half a liter, just. And it wasn't out of
urine.
It wasn't out of a.
I'm-
No,
yeah,
dude,
it's-
it's
Yeah,
not
it
out
doesn't
of a
come
piss
out
hole.
of like the
Oh my
consistency.
God.
The
It doesn't
Who
come out of
is
a
that?
different hole.
The
It's
consistency that comes out of, I mean, they're just different consistencies. What's coming out of the vaginal, like vaginal
fuck
secretions
Butters?
are different from squirting.
Dude, Butters. Holy shit, girl. Hello.
Hi.
She's
Look
like,
at this.
hello.
Hello.
Look at this
No,
thing.
it's still just piss.
Hi, Butters.
Hello.
Yeah, I just
Honestly,
pee.
I think sex is
damn.
boring. I think role playing is fun because I like Nazis and I like role playing Nazis, and that's just the arousal, I guess.
This is the wrong server to say
The
that on.
free bleeder.
Okay.
That's the free bleeder.
Yeah, I'm a free breed.
You're a free
bleeder.
breeder? Oh.
I am actually into like Nazi role playing, communism, and like.
Oh my god.
abuse.
like,
That's,
Right, you
I'm
gotta
into,
come to Australia, girl. I'm sending a DM right
I'm
now.
into I can't say that out loud. Never mind. Okay.
She's into Nazis too. I knew it.
How did you know? Oh my god. Do you guys know about the website called AO3?
No.
Okay, good.
I do not. That doesn't sound familiar.
Okay. Good. Keep it that
What
way.
is it?
It's fan fiction.
Oh.
That's what I like. Fictional people. I'm confused about these headphones. I don't know if they're working properly.
Oh, you got a mechanical keyboard. That's a turn off.
Me?
Someone.
Oh, I'm on my laptop.
Wait, can you hear if I go like this? You can hear it? Okay, never mind.
That's better.
Well, this was like the second time I'd done Ramadan. So the first time I'd done it, I didn't really know many Muslim people. So like, and Muslim people that I did know, I didn't really tell them I was doing Ramadan. I was just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So this was like the second time. This was when I found out about dates and
Oh,
shit.
that's so nice.
They
How
shit
was
hot.
it? Was it nice?
But not only that, right? So he had like
We're getting out here, I think.
It's mine, and then I was going to let it finish it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can talk. You can talk.
Are we
Finish your
good?
point.
Everybody's good?
Finish your
We're not-
point. Okay,
we're not
finish your point.
Anybody.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, okay. Finish your point.
Yeah, society in a free society, people can have their opinions, right? But this does not mean that society gets to subject you, right, to offending objective reality, right? So you have a Y chromosome or you don't. Those are objective facts, right? If you want to, try to parse words with, society in a free society, that's fine. That's what a free society is for. You can
I get you.
identify as
I get you.
wonderful.
Yeah, can I counteract with that? Can I counteract that? But you say it's objective, but patriarchy imposes these objective facts. Patriarchy imposes this roles. It's not objective at all. How is it objective when patriarchy imposes these roles? Like if I'm a school teacher, if like there's the whole
it
don't
could
say
be
gay
both.
yeah, but it could be both. It can be both. Like it can be like
Yeah.
I told you like if it's birthing
It
and
can be both
milking.
objective and imposed.
Wait. If I like if I'm a school teacher, wait. Look, I live in Florida. If I if I'm a school teacher, if I wear a female dress, a woman's dress, dude, like the men in the won't let me they won't let me near kids because I'm a man in a woman's dress. And they think I'm grooming kids by exposing them to transgender or shit like that.
Well, that
That's
is
what I think it is.
pretty freakish.
Yeah, that's the kind of society we live in, America first, where
That
they would
this is a
impose their fucking patriarchy. They would impose their, even though it's not objective.
All right, no, probably the most objective thing about it is people who behave in this way that is just so socially bizarre are usually individuals who they're a little bit screwed up in the head.
That's not objective, General Washington. Me
No, that is
wearing a
perfectly
dress.
objective. This socially abnormal behavior being indicative of people who are not necessarily stable. That's pretty objective.
Who are you to say I'm stable? Who are you to say I'm I'm just expressing my freedom of expression.
Yeah, in a way that you are consciously being deliberately.
For the stupidest shit.
Maybe the term would be antisocial.
What am I antisocial? That's what I'm saying. Patriarchy wants to impose these roles so badly that they want to
Why is it? Why do you keep saying that? Why do you? Both men and women seem to agree on these rules.
Because of religion. Because of patriarchy.
Because of religion? No, that's not true.
Then
there isn't something in the Bible that says men are not allowed to wear pink.
No, it's not about
what
the Bible.
Are you talking about?
It's not about the Bible. It's we have this traditional
religion,
family. Traditional.
Is there a mod here who can see my hand raise?
I'm a mod, but I'm not a mod in this room.
You're not a mod in either room. Or is this an alt account?
I'm a mod in the Panhandle.
It's dangerous. I'm enjoying the chat here. I'm enjoying conversating with all of you, right? But if there's no moderator to decide who's going to speak at what time, and everybody's
I am a moderator.
Nonsensical.
I am a moderator, bro. But
yeah, you can't say. Wait, you can't say I'm mentally
ill. I haven't seen an issue with the turns.
Okay, I'm gonna say the Salvador. They're making 2 points, 2 different points at the same time. Salvador, they're saying these objective traits exist, and there's no need of imposition. But when I say I want to express my gender expression, if you want to wear a female dress, they're like, no, you're mentally ill. You should do that because you're going against social norms. And if these norms are imposed by patriarchy, are these subjective at all? They don't. That means they're not biologically dependent. They're just
that's a misrepresentation.
Religious tradition, puritanical tradition we had.
No, I didn't say that you are mentally ill. What I was pointing out is that this is the common experience that when you find people that are doing this kind of stuff, there's just something not mentally right about these individuals. And that is the expectation. So when people are
That's not-
uncomfortable with an individual that looks like it behaves in a way that is so completely abnormative, and you get, oh, well, that's just offensive. You should just accept me for who I am. And it's like, well, okay, maybe they should. But the reality is that a lot of people that behave like this are not mentally sound. And you're getting upset and triggered that they're reacting to a reality that people understand.
Why should they conform to your constructed
Well,
gender roles,
not
constructed patriarchy? Fuck patriarchy. Fuck your religious
It's
traditional
not
birth.
patriarchy. What are you talking about?
Religious.
Okay,
I don't
listen.
care if you want to wear a dress, man. Wear it. Doesn't bother me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a way to do it, and the argument that you make is it's a kilt and I'm Scottish. No,
There's a lot of personalities here, and I'm going to try to get the word in edgewise, right? But it's not about people's personalities. It's not about like I identify as this or identify as that, right? It's a free country. You can identify as whatever you want. To me, it's just like, okay, you have a Y chromosome or you don't. It always comes back to that with me, right? Science, objective facts versus identity, which are subjective opinions. You can identify as whatever you want, right? That's fine, but just don't expect me to think that it's objectively true. And I think that's a good compromise.
If it's objective, then why do I have the need to wear a dress? If it's objective, then why do I have the need to be a woman?
That's how you feel.
I mean, that is indeed
No
subjective.
answer for that?
There's
No answer for that?
Here we go.
Why-
Are we opening the postmodernist can of worms here, where we go into how like all of psychology is basically just a bunch of guesses, and we just like go
It
like
kinda
into
is,
like
but-
it's just subjective.
There's some things that you don't.
I feel like you're opening the can of
worms.
worms.
There's
That's
some
not the
things
point.
that
The point is,
you can do.
they don't respect. They're hypocrites. They're like, yo, I want freedom. You don't impose anything. But at the same
Jesus,
time,
they're awfully
they're
black. Fuck, I hate
robbing my
niggas.
freedom. Oh my god, they're robbing away my freedom of expression by telling me not to wear a dress, not to be a woman, and demonizing me and saying, yo, your whole existence is causing, you're grooming kids.
Meryl, what is your what is your definition of gender or woman, if you will?
What is it?
Oh, you think okay? Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You think it's gender roles? You think gender is like a social category?
Yeah, it's a sort
Okay.
of construct.
All right. Yeah. I mean, here's the issue. Miral is kind of I don't know how to put this. He's kind of correct in the sense that legally and societally constructed currently in like the Western systems and structures that recognize gender, we indeed have adopted for like the past 15 years gender as a construct, like as a social identifier, right? Like if you think about this in any form, like any legal institution, we refer to people by their gender. If they've changed their gender, that's what we refer to them as. Like whether it's like the news reporting on you, whether it's the legal system, like whether you're in a courtroom, whether you're going to university. This is just how we've done it for the past like decade and a half. So I'm not sure, like, I don't know, like that is kind of an objective fact of our legal system. So Meryl was kind of right on that one. I don't know if anyone really hates that system. That's the current norm right now.
I can
My
understand.
whole argument is wait, why are you imposing your traditional roles on me and other people who want to identify so different from the traditional?
Yeah,
Because
why
they-
impose shit?
Because they are because usually the position is that they're afraid of losing the, I don't know, their very strong constructed grip on reality, and they don't like that being challenged.
Well,
That's usually
yeah,
the
no,
issue.
like it's in America.
That
It's
sounds like a
mostly
code more than an argument.
Christians. Christians are losing that. Christians are like afraid of losing their grip on stuff. Christians, they know like
Maybe.
people are leaving their religion in droves. They know and
Christians,
so
you already said it wasn't about Christianity a moment ago. You said it was about religion, not, and then I brought up the Bible, and you're nothing to do with the Bible. Now you're going back and using the Bible.
I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the Bible necessarily, but I would say that.
You see,
it doesn't have
you're reverting back to whatever argument suits you, friend.
Yeah,
Oh,
why are
me?
you doing that?
No. I'm just gonna make a small point. I do think the issue here is that like people who have the issue with religion is that people who have a religious understanding of the world can very easily say something like, "There is objective truth. This is objectively true." And if it's like if I feel like this is true, it has to be true. But if you're not of that prescription, right, you might be more inclined to believe that all research is kind of subjectively driven, and a lot of things that we see as humanity is pretty much just completely subjective, and there's no fucking way to actually get to the objective truth.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the
That's the
coffin.
big issue there.
How is it subjective if you're born with a male part versus a female part?
I know that there's personalities.
You don't play those games.
We're not talking about biological changes. No one is biologically female if they choose to be. It's not what we're arguing. No one is arguing for changing biological sex. Like,
doesn't it tell you exactly what the objective reality is? Because there are competing narratives for what the objective reality is. But what religion does is it does say that there is such a thing as an objective reality. Now, if you think that there is no such thing as objective reality, then say so. But what all religions
no one is saying that.
They argue that there is such a thing as objective reality.
Look, do we
No.
have the male part? Yes or no? Do they have the female parts? Yes or no?
Some people can't really do
yes,
the
that's very nuanced, much argument.
Let's just go down this road. Let's just go down this road, bro. What if you are intersex? Oh, my bad.
Intersex. Can you explain to me what that is?
I don't know.
You don't even know what intersex is.
You identify people based on their gender. You don't identify people as a castle. You don't like look at people like, oh my god, you have penis or pussy. No. You identify based on their gender. The gender we say identify as.
I come from the old school, homie. When I was growing up, gender meant you're either a boy or a girl.
I kind of
yeah, you and most of the people in the world and most of the history of the world is in total agreement with that. There's just this teeny tiny little group that thinks that reality is whatever I choose to identify it as, and you just have to accept whatever reality I identify as.
That's narratively loaded.
That's very, very narratively loaded. That's a narrative more than an argument. So how about we argue?
Loaded or not, it's not misrepresenting what's going on.
Kind of.
I do believe that there
represents what very suits.
Whoa, one at a time, guys. One at a time, please.
Okay, guys. Stop.
Obviously, there is.
Shut up. No. Everyone, shut the fuck up before we can continue.
Also exists, right? So if these two things exist, people can identify as an attack helicopter, right? No problem.
No, we're not doing this. We are not doing this discussion for the 100th time.
You don't have any metal gears in your body, but you're still allowed to identify as that.
Oh my God. I'm the big bad wolf. It doesn't mean that I walk on all fours and howl at the moon now, does it?
Dome in your body? Also, no. So, objective.
You're very rude.
Okay,
you're gonna identify as anything that you objectively are not. But let's not get into like the postmodernism concept, like objective facts don't even exist. Because once you go into that whole realm where objective facts just don't exist, everything is subjectively. You wait for a can of worms that you don't want to get into.
Bro, still talking.
Believes that objective facts don't exist.
Wait, America first. Can I respond to you? you know,
Castle, you're
do you
muted.
So,
like okay?
Castle,
Wait,
hold on. Castle King,
Castle.
if you want me to unmute you, you need to behave. You don't talk over people. You don't start commenting on whatever they say. Just wait for your turn to talk, and we're cool.
This
Okay?
guy was over talking me. He had the audacity, the nerve to interrupt me.
Was it? Did I misheard it
Yeah,
then?
I was speaking and this guy was trying to talk over me as if.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Well,
It's
it
all
can
good.
happen,
I
you know.
forgive you. I forgive you.
Okay, look.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you guys something. Like, you say like, hey, it's less than 1%. Do you guys agree that there are still millions of teenagers, millions of people, who were like, because of religion, because of religious persecution or societal, restrictions, were unable to express the gender they wanted to express and remain in like the gender they were assigned? Or look, gay stuff. A lot of people are gay, but unable to like come to the closet, and had to like adjust because to save face, and like like, they wasted their lives suffering in silence.
Probably.
What are we talking about here, guys?
He said,
We
do
were
you
initially
think that
talking
there
about
are
gender
people?
roles.
Yeah, he said that it's. Do you think there's like gay people or trans people who just was silent because they think they would have been prosecuted or like fucking
Yeah.
ostracized?
Okay, guys. I need to.
Well,
Stop.
what they think is not
I
relevant.
need to get this conversation back on topic. The topic again for the third time. This is the third time you have derailed into a different topic. We're not talking about trans people. We were not talking about non-binary people. We were not talking about intersex people. We were talking about gender roles and patriarchy, and like it's a discussion about gender roles, not about whether you get to choose what roles you want. That's not the topic. The topic's not trans people.
That is the part of the topic. That
No, the
is a
topic. The
major
topic
aspect
was.
of the.
So
That
the
is
topic.
part of the same topic.
Yeah, but the topic is not trans people. We're talking about how gender roles affect men and women differently, and what is patriarchy and what isn't patriarchy. That was the main topic, and
And
this whole
the main group of people that have a concern with it are the trans community.
Bro, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're wrecking a conversation right now.
Yeah, I'm modding the conversation right now because it got derailed for the third time.
It didn't get derailed. That is part of the
They
topic.
are all interconnected topics.
You know
Basically, what you just did is like this, like transphobic. We're not allowed to talk about trans people. They don't matter. Only people that have gender roles are heterosexual people.
Yeah, the topic is about gender roles. You can talk about gender roles and how they affect trans people, but we're not talking about whether trans people are or aren't real, or are valid, or
accuse somebody of transphobia just because they didn't want to tie down the conversation.
Guys, stop. One at a goddamn time, okay? One at a goddamn time, or else I'm going to start muting people because it's getting out of hand.
I just wanted to
think you guys have answered my question. Like my question to America First and General Washington was like, no, since you guys are judging, the people who don't conform to your gender, object to gender roles, you have been persecuting like these people for millennia. There are a lot of people, there's millions of people who were still unable to come out of the closet, unable to express their gender, and given a chance, I think more than a quarter of people, more than 25% of people will like either like not conform to your object to so-called gender roles if you don't like judge them, and give it a chance to experiment them.
All right. Well, there's a difference between expressing your gender and deciding I want to be a different gender, and therefore I'm going to express that.
Sir, can I answer that question?
Yeah, sure.
You can identify as whatever gender you want, right? But it doesn't change the facts about your biology, right? So whatever gender identity or role that you want to take, be my guest. It's a free country.
Yeah, but like no one gives a shit about like your objective biological traits. No one cares. No one fucking cares.
Care? You don't care.
See, if I see someone like
about objective facts. There's nothing that requires you to care about objective reality.
So
Yeah, like
if I see, for example, Buck Angel on the street, his biological reality is not gonna do anything for me because he's a buff guy with a fucking huge beard and everything, and like the first thing I'm gonna think and I'm gonna treat him like is like a man. So this whole like trans, I think that there's a lot of people who see trans people from the view of the trans people that they imagine, which is people that, like, for example, they imagine a man with a full-grown fucking beard and like hasn't even started HRT or any treatment, claiming that they're a woman, and everyone celebrating them for it's not the same. Like, sure, we're gonna accept that they're trans, but as soon as they start transitioning, you're gonna see why you need to treat them as women, because they're gonna start looking like women. They're not gonna be a fucking neckbeard after they start taking HRT. That's for sure.
They're still gonna have an Adam's apple. They're still gonna have man hands. They're gonna still have the same bone structure. It's like the only changes are going to be
You can see bone structure. You have X-ray in your
bone
eyes.
structure doesn't change.
Yeah, I was about to say. Do
Yeah, but you have.
Why does it matter? It has zero.
To see their bone structure.
And regardless, why does this fucking matter to you? Like, why do you care? Why would them having an Adam's
why do you
apple?
care?
I was
What
born a
I'm
woman,
saying
and it
is
looks
you're
like
gonna
I have
see a
an Adam's
woman.
apple. Why would that matter? I was born a woman. I literally have an Adam's apple from certain angles. Would you
Yeah,
then
women also
be a
do
guy?
have an Adam's apple too. It's
Would you
just less
then
prominent.
assume that I'm a trans guy because, oh, well, she kind of looks like a man in these aspects, so therefore that's a trans guy, and I'm not going to show that person respect anymore.
Yeah,
You see,
Adam's apples
that
are not
pushes out.
exclusive to biological males. Females do have an Adam's apple. It's just less prominent. But the fact that they do have one is a biological fact. There's a thing such as females with Adam's apples, and it's a thing about the throat. It's its structure. It's how it works. It's just less prominent
The problem,
on women.
the problem is
Because
like
their necks are
instead of being
thinner and
inclusive, the problem is like. Instead of being inclusive, instead of being open-minded, instead of being inclusive, instead of being respecting people, irrelevant of whatever they identify as, you want to put people in these like close-minded like boxes of male, men and women. Like, why do you do that? Like, if you want people to be free and minded, like that's what I want.
What if they don't want
Don't
to?
judge them for it.
If I could answer, who are you
They're
to
free
say
to
that people
pursue
can't
their
pursue?
happiness, are they not?
Why
In a free
hold
country,
up.
Genuinely, I don't care if people don't respect things like pronouns. If you don't do that, that's fine. But you're then not being like protected of how people react to it. If then you're like someone in your family is like, oh, you don't respect my pronouns, so I'm cutting you out. That's also you needing to respect. That's
Yeah, that's
fine.
bullshit. Like, yeah, that's a far left. That's a far left. That's far left, not the moderate left.
I got
the far left.
You talked before me, and I was hoping I could jump into the conversation, right? But in a free society, you don't do that. You don't decide who's a male and who's a female, right? You let people decide for themselves. But biologically, objectively speaking, you either have a Y chromosome or you don't have a Y chromosome. Right, now,
but that's biology. But
Can you see my chromosomes?
guys, I wasn't quite done.
Yeah, let him
right?
finish. Let him
Now,
finish.
you can make a social argument that if you do have a Y chromosome, you should be called male, right? Society should call you male. You can make a social argument that if you don't have a Y chromosome, society should call you a female, right? But those are social, objective.
But can you see my chromosome? Do you have any extra reason to see my chromosome?
I apologize. I'm just trying to finish this one comment, right? Objective reality, we as a human species, we have produced by sexually male and female, right? So that's biological fact.
That. Hold on. Very quick interjection. Very quick. It's not objective reality. It's biological reality because sociology is also a science.
I am not trying to be rude, but I just want to finish the statement. Societally, if you want to make the argument that male and female are somehow interchangeable, or patriarchy or social constructs and stuff like that, if you want to do that societally, go ahead. Just leave my science alone.
No, my question is like, wait, if I talk like a woman, if I dress like a woman, how the fuck can you decipher my chromosomes? Do you have any extra vision to decipher my chromosomes? You don't have a shit.
Come in peace. What's up, man?
Look, if I dress like a woman,
Don't talk over. Hey, stop talking over people. Who the fuck is it?
Answer me, America. Answer me, America first. Like, do you have any extra vision to decipher my chromosomes?
I have either a Y chromosome or I don't have a Y chromosome.
No, you're
Answer
not
my
getting the
question.
point.
Some people have white chromosomes and some people have black chromosomes.
Is it noticeable to you by the simple look, by the human eye, whether my chromosome is Y or XX?
Most of the time, yes. So, like
Yeah,
your voice,
but not
example,
always.
you can tell that you almost definitely have white. Almost definitely. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm giving a level of assurance. I'm 90% sure that you have a white.
Yeah, I understand, but the thing that I'm saying is we need to stop using the word the objective truth is, because it's not the objective truth. It's the biological truth. No one is saying that we can change our biology after we are already born.
That's not true at all.
Maybe you can do that on fucking like gene editing or some shit. But
Have you not been paying attention to sports? That's exactly what they're doing.
Just stop talking over me, or I'm gonna mute you. Okay, first warning. Okay, stop. I'm not finished with my point. The sociology, the study of society, is also a science. So it's not a scientific truth. It's a biological truth because it's from the perspective of one of the sciences, which is biology in this case. Now, people are not, saying I'm no longer a biological male because I'm a trans woman now. They're saying that their gender has changed, and gender precludes to society, not to biology, and therefore, if we're talking about the objective social perspective,
Your identity.
a woman, not a female, mind you, a woman.
All right, that's wrong. They are doing that.
Then you're not a woman. The woman has a specific definition.
Well, if they,
Humans are the
whoever,
only animals that can get confused about this shit.
Stop talking over me. So sure, if you say that they are saying it, whoever they are, go look them up and debate with them, because no one here is doing that, so it would be a straw man.
All right. No, we're
debating
seeing this going on with sports all over the place. The whole, it's like, wait, you're saying it's a social construct, but sports, as everybody knows, is not divided by social construct. It's divided by the biological difference between male and female. But they're saying that, we want to double dip here. We want to be able to have biological men compete against biological females. Because, no, they are actually doing this. It just depends on when it's convenient to their agenda.
Yeah, well, go look them up and debate them. As I told you just now, no one here is saying that our biological sex can be changed.
That it wasn't.
You flat out saying that it wasn't going on, and I was citing to you that it is going on.
No, because
and now you're saying, I should be able to say that it's not going on because I didn't say it.
Calm down, friend. Calm down.
I am calm.
No, doesn't seem that way. Saying that trans women are saying that trans women should be able to compete in female sports is not the same as saying you can change your sex. So it's a non sequitur what you're doing there.
No, it is. That's exactly what they're doing, because this is divided by sex. It's not divided by social construct. It's divided by sex. So when you say that, we're really just doing a social construct change, and then you come over here and you say, well, I want to be in the other sports, which is divided by sex.
Yeah, and now that you put in the whole,
making an equivalency.
Now that people have been protesting on that and starting putting testosterone level limits on female sports, some biological females who have naturally higher testosterone than other biological females are being excluded of those sports because they produce more natural testosterone by themselves, not even being trans.
Well, even adjusting for that doesn't address bigger problems.
Be divided up by sports. Should
So the bigger problem would be what? Leah Thomas winning in one of the hundreds of sports that females compete in, where we don't see female trans people, trans women dominating every single sport, because we don't really see them dominating every single sport. We just have the couple examples,
Oh man, you're lying, dude. You're lying. You're the moderator in here? You're lying. You're lying. That's sad that you would lie like that. You're the moderator? Who gave you the power? Who?
Okay, calm down, buddy.
Oh my god. Dude, like it's about at the end of the day, it's about me being happy, me being able to express myself, and you like people like you boomer mentality, puritanical people need to like change your mind, realize that like people can be whatever they want, and just like you have to cope with that.
Shut
up. If you are a trans person and you wanna make all the transphobes take a note, just live your life happily. That's the biggest L you can give them.
No, you don't get to be whatever you want. Oh, I'm a cat all of a sudden. No, that's not how reality works. You can identify as whatever the hell you want. That doesn't make you whatever you want.
Can I raise my hand, moderator? Can I say something?
Yeah, you can.
What did I say? I can be a biological.
Nobody's trying to get
No. Stop. Let America first go. He was raising his hand.
Attack you. Nobody's trying to get at you. Nobody's trying to get under your skin. That's not I don't think that's anybody's objective, right? But a question was raised: do you want biological males and biological females to compete separately? Now, if the answer is it's a yes or no. I know you don't like binary questions, but it is a yes or no. If you
if you ask me, I would want only contact sports to be divided by sex.
Yes. If you don't want them to compete separately, then you have to answer no. My answer is yes. I think that biological males and biological females should compete separately.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to, maybe some of you are going to be surprised because you maybe didn't know me quite well, but I would agree that trans women, for example, if they didn't start their transition when they were, teenagers with puberty blockers, which, cancelates the whole male puberty thing, they shouldn't be able to.
Your body structure is still different.
I'm not fucking finished, guy. I'm not finished. You have interrupted me already 3 times.
I'm not a guy. I'm not a guy.
Why are you yelling at my muted?
I don't. Okay. Okay. Stop. Just stop. Let me talk. So, as I was saying, it's going to impress maybe some other conservatives here that I don't agree 100%, but at least to some degree. Because, for example, I don't think that trans women should be competing with female athletes in some sports, such as contact sports. Then again, I think that the sports that require more skill than just physical, force
What?
should
If you're
not
playing
even be
tennis, you're still
separated.
using your arms, your
I'm
muscles.
I'm
Men
not
still have an
finished.
advantage.
Oh, I'm not finished. Can you shut the fuck up before I
Yeah,
mute
but
you?
your
I
point
don't want
doesn't make
to.
sense. Can you shut the fuck up? You sound Yakubian. You white devil. We was Kangs and shit. Look what you did, you white devil.
Who is
that? Let him finish, please, and then you get to say something.
Yeah. Anyway, so the whole point is, I think that, for example, in football, in other sports that are more based on skills, and every single position in the match requires different skills, different physical skills than others. Not all the footballers are going to be defenders, which require more body mass and strength. Maybe those sports shouldn't be separated by sex altogether. I would have a mixed football league. When I say football, I mean real football, not American football, American scope.
I'll take the insult.
Yo, do you not know that the fucking women's soccer team got beat by fucking high schoolers? Women's soccer
That's
team?
not true. That's not
That's
true.
not true. That was a
Full
fake
team
news
was
Look
there.
up the
made up by
article.
some people.
And
It
they
was
beat
a
the women's
friendly. It was
national
a
soccer
friendly
team.
match. It was a friendly match, and the women. It wasn't an actual competition.
I know it wasn't
the
a
women there.
competition, but it was still a match.
No, they were not competing. Actually, look up the article. The women team there.
It's not.
This is
It's not
such
true.
cringe.
It's
This
just not the
sucks.
reality
Keep
of
saying
it.
what you were saying. Keep saying what you were saying.
It was like a friendly match, the women team, got some high schoolers, or something, like, oh, let's play around, kick some
But
ball,
we
right?
can all agree they lost,
competing.
though,
They were
right?
not doing their best, right? You fucking think that professional soccer players, I don't care what gender they are gonna be defeated by some amateurs, high school boys?
Yes.
You
So,
fucking idiot.
Against females.
Idiot. It doesn't matter if you have muscles.
Okay.
Takes a bit more than just muscles, my guy. Tactics,
are you crazy?
strategy,
Do you
training.
think professionals don't play against amateurs? Seriously
I
trying to beat them?
do
Do
know,
you think that
but
doesn't happen?
But what the other guy was pointing to is evidence that women are fucking weak. Women got defeated by high school boys. Look up the article, right? It was a friendly match. The professional women's soccer team was not actually
There's
doing
a
their
bunch
best.
of friendly matches that happen that are still.
Is
they
that
still
your
fucking playing
excuse?
the
No, it
game,
wasn't.
bro.
I'm
What are
not
you
using the
talking about?
proper English term. It wasn't a friend. It was It was like a PR stunt, right? It just it was like a
Just
tourist
kick the
thing.
ball
It was actually a match to support the team that defeated them. So maybe they let them defeat them.
Okay.
You
Did
seriously
anybody say
think
that? Did
bro?
anyone say that?
Okay, wait. Okay,
I mean,
professional
maybe
women
hold on.
wait. Professional women boxer versus a high school boxer kid. Who do you think is gonna win?
The high
What'd you
school
say?
boxer.
You
High
fucking
school
idiot.
boxer.
You
So
fucking
you
idiot.
Okay,
hold
because
on. There's
men
hold on,
inherently stronger.
guys, hold on. So
Well,
if
men
professional
can punch
boxer,
harder and women can be.
okay, stop talking over me. If a professional boxer is fighting someone who they know is an amateur, just for, let's say it's an exhibition match to make money for a fundraising, campaign or anything, you think that professional boxer is going to go all out on that teenager? Of course not.
Yes.
I would.
A professional boxer will kick your fucking ass. I don't care if you're a male.
That depends.
You are.
No, you fought them? I actually sparred with professional boxer women when I was a younger kid. Got my ass beat. Right, and my buddies who actually did professional boxing, they got their asses kicked by younger guys who were just more experienced. That's it. It's training, skill. Right.
Okay, there's a difference between amateur and stick, okay?
You can have all the muscle in the world, but if you don't know how to use it...
If you
All right, it doesn't matter if you're skilled. If a 300-pound man hits a 120-pound woman, all of her skill in the world is not going to keep her ribs from being smashed.
Hold on.
Met a 300...
Stop, Spartacus, stop. So it's not like that sport, General Washington, is divided up by weight, regardless of the gender of the
We were
participant,
talking about
right?
It's
about that, really, yeah.
talent hack beating up a professional boxer woman. And
If they're the same
simple
weight, the
reality
guy's
is
gonna lose.
okay. That wasn't in there. That was just there's just a random. Oh no. The woman will win. Period. It doesn't matter.
Boxing matches are divided by weight. So when you say there's going to be a boxing match, you assume initially that they're going to be similar weights. Not
Now,
size.
see, on the-
not for example, not the same, not as
This
tall,
wasn't
not necessarily
this
as.
wasn't a boxing match.
Stop talking over me, please. Can you?
Topic.
I don't think you can or
keep
should.
changing it.
Oh,
You
so
know
I'm
you're
changing.
wrong. It's hard to defend this. You're wrong, all the way wrong. You're wrong. It's hard to defend. It's hard to defend a lie. It's easy to defend the truth.
Okay, you need
The truth is like a lion. It doesn't need defending. Let it loose. It defends itself. That's the truth. All right.
Okay, friend, I know you're alone in your car and you can scream all you want, but calm down, okay? Calm down.
I am calm.
Yeah, I know maybe
Yeah, I
maybe
wanna- yeah, so
maybe your lady doesn't let you scream that much in the house, but don't take it out on us, okay?
No, I'm just saying I'm considerate of my family. All right.
I believe
So
you.
I have a
100%
question, right? So
believe
let's see Ronda Rousey, right? Like same weight,
She like
Ronda
120,
Rousey
right?
versus like equal weight equal weight, like teenage boy, right?
not even teenage boy. Say a man same age and same same weight, just not trained.
Well,
Yeah,
even the
may be
same
able to
weight,
take him.
you can't even do same
Maybe
weight class
able.
because men can
Maybe
take
able.
harder
It would be a
punches.
top. Well, she would have
bones
the
are like-
advantage. She would have the advantage.
Bro, the amount of skill,
Well,
it's
it depends on what
tactics in
advantage you're
boxing
talking
too.
about.
You need discipline, technique,
Men have
right?
stronger bones.
Strategy. It doesn't
Okay,
matter
so
if you don't know how to use it.
Okay, hold on. You
Yes,
think
we
so
do
you
have those stronger bones.
No,
I mean, it'll be
bigger
harder to take him down. But
I'm gonna
that's about
start
it.
muting. I'm gonna start muting people if you don't.
She's gonna
take
dance
turns
circles
to talk,
around and beat
okay?
his fucking ass.
No, yeah, of course, because you see, assuming that the guy would win because he has bigger bones, even though he's not even trained for it, you know that Muhammad Ali beat other men who were stronger and bigger than him multiple times, based on what exactly? Strategy, and training. That's
Alright.
about it. Okay.
So the fact
every
you,
time a man
you
did
need
that.
to stop shooting people. Honestly, I was about to go out for a smoke when I heard that you were going to start muting people. You're being a tyrant right now. We're having a good conversation.
Oh,
I'm
shut up!
listening.
You're fucking memeing.
We're
Just
having a good
mute him.
discussion.
Well, he is abusing
Great
his
things
moderator
to say.
privileges because you're supposed to either
He can do whatever the fuck he
moderate
wants.
or
I know.
It was good. It was good.
Mute him
We're
all.
having a
Okay,
conversation.
okay.
Relax. Well, he
Mute
can
him
mute
all,
you. He can
fucking
mute.
dog.
Everyone
This is the
shut up.
guest room. The mods here can mute at the discretion.
People are muted.
Yes.
I am going to fucking leave and fuck it.
Good
You
riddance.
You can leave. You
Yeah,
are
leave,
free
my guy.
to
I
leave.
don't think he
Bye.
was being unfair. Like he did
Bro,
mute some
what
people when it
happened?
was overtime.
What happened every time a man went up against a woman, female went up against a trans man in a boxing ring or the octagon? What
Wait.
happened
Yeah.
every time?
Oh, wait. Show
They
me
have
the data.
That's
Show
not.
me the data. I've seen so much horseshit
Women win all
about
the
this.
time.
Show me the facts.
Spartacus, stop. Calm down.
That's a bad example, my guy. Women win those fights all the time.
Guys, the woman who fought on UFC, that this trans woman that everyone likes to talk about. Little known fact: the only females that she defeated had no victories or one victory and many losses, and she lost. And then stop. I haven't finished. And then she lost to a biological female, not to another trans woman. So there you have an example, Iceman.
Okay.
Yeah, trans women are not dominating these sports. It's such a fucking
Hold up.
scare tactic.
Except for the person when he went
No.
100 in the male, the number
So you
20
were
in female.
hold on, Iceman, you were 100% saying that because you said, how many times has a trans woman lost? Same weight, they're the same weight, they're fighting in the same category. The fuck you on about?
How many times have they won, bro? You said one time they lost. One time.
One time they
Well,
lost
they're
the
winning.
field. So yeah, okay, Iceman. It's this the only trans woman who has ever competed in UFC, won
No, it's
3
not.
times, lost 1 time, and then didn't compete again.
No, it's not.
Show me another one.
There was an ex
Show us
military
the
guy
data,
that was
dude.
fighting in the UFC. What are you talking
Show
about?
me another one. I'm waiting on it.
Is this guy actually homeless? This guy's not homeless.
Hey, you make
Yeah, you haven't heard of
No way, this guy's
you haven't heard of
homeless.
that weightlifter from New Zealand
Well,
who crushed
see,
all
you're
the wrestlers
also
over there for the women?
win
How
or
many
loss.
trans
You're
women
also
are
forgetting
champions
that
in any
you are
sport?
forgetting.
No,
You're
no.
forgetting they were
Find me
number
trans women who are champions in any
500 or
fucking discipline.
number 800 in the men's class to all of a sudden being in the top 50 in the
Cool.
women's
No,
class.
show me. Show me trans women champions in any discipline. Go ahead.
Besides Leah
I would
Thomas.
say champions.
That's
I
the
would
only
say
one.
champions.
Yeah, one.
All right.
You have one.
Yeah, I wouldn't
They
say
have one example.
All right, what I just cited was a big example of the advantage.
Are they a woman? I mean,
Seeing them
are
slightly
they?
go from being
what was
way down in the
Are they
ranking to
are
much
they
higher.
champions? Are they champions?
Whether or not they're the champion,
No, it
as
does
opposed
matter.
to they went from being at the bottom of the class to the top of the class. It's still a massive, a clear, massive advantage.
Yeah, so maybe it does have to do with training then, because they had more
Doesn't
time to train since they started transitioning till they stopped transitioning and started
You
fighting.
never, you can't ever stop. I mean, there is no end to it. It's not possible.
I can't believe you're trying to defend this, man. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Make that
No.
YouTube
Also,
video.
wait.
Who's the
not
who's
even-
the example we pointed out?
I want all that
Just out
smoke.
of curiosity.
I'm not even defending it. I'm not even defending it because I started this conversation. No, I'm not. Listen to me for a second. I started this conversation saying that I think that no trans athletes should compete with, their gender, not their sex, in boxing or contact sports in general. Like, I don't see trans women in fucking American football, for example.
Well, I mean, you're overlooking the eyes, for instance. Men and women have very different eyes. Men do have
Salvador, what are these excuses?
Salvador,
no.
brought this up.
Their eyes? Is that a joke? Their eyes?
Yes.
You guys are pretty.
One at a time,
Basically,
guys.
what it comes down to is the balance between cones and rods means that men have much superior motion detection and depth perception.
I know that you have
No,
No,
America first. America first is.
But that's just stupid. Like, I think that's just stupid.
Can I please
No,
reply?
it's simple science. Look it up for yourself. It is.
First go. Let America first go.
Yes, please. The reason that you don't see trans males in male sports.
Huh?
Because why?
He's lagging.
Yep.
Oh, his internet went out.
The trans males are keeping you down.
It's
Look,
one of the,
please, I don't think Salvador,
it's
like,
Jewish
Salvador.
canal, muting him. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
can I ask
Salvador, I've been here to talk.
Hold on.
Like, I've been here to talk for. Salvador, I've been
Timmy,
here to talk.
Timmy, don't talk over people.
So why have we never cared about this before?
I wonder.
The filibuster.
Just realize that the reason why they're not in the NBA is because of trans women.
We never cared about this before.
True. The only time fucking men care about women's sports is like, the trans are invading the world. They're joining the frogs game.
You didn't give a shit about women's sports for the millennia, and now just because they're talking about gender identity, they want to talk about women's
What are you
sports.
talking about?
That's
I watch women's sports every day.
Do you?
I actually do.
We don't want to know about your porn history, okay?
An honest.
Hey, wait.
Long jump and pole vault.
Hold on. Wander, Santiago Wander, are you from Chile?
Yeah, I'm from Chile. Can you tell?
Wait. Hold on. This is a very Chilean moment. Are you a fan of Santiago Wanderers?
Yeah, because you got me to be a fan. You don't even fucking remember me, Salvador.
Oh, it's you.
It's you.
Oh,
This is
it's
a very
you,
Chilean moment.
Potsy.
Indeed, yeah.
Oh my God,
great.
Potsy, I remember you. Yeah, I'm gonna
Can we
DM
all
you right
agree?
now.
Fuck Pinochet, okay?
Okay,
Fuck
do you guys
Pinochet.
like
No.
talk
We
in
can
Chilean or like, what language do you talk there? What language?
we
Chilean?
talk Chilean basically Chilean version of Spanish. I say Chilean version of Spanish because you need to take into consideration that Chile, when it comes to the accent, it's like Jamaica in the English-speaking world. So
That's literally
if you don't know about the Jamaican accent before, it's gonna be very, very surprising, and it's gonna be very hard to understand if you don't know key
Like, can you
facts
guys
about
talk in
the
Chilean?
differences.
Can you guys talk in Chilean?
Hey, Floppy.
If I did, I don't think you could understand me, even
It
if you
doesn't
spoke
matter. I
Spanish.
just want to listen to the accent. Doesn't matter. Listen to the accent.
Los chilenos hablamos así bien rápido, mire, y aparte ocupamos hartas palabras como po, oye, weón, weón, la weá, weón, culiao,
Puta.
all those insults that we like to use a lot. Basically,
What about you,
Yes,
San Diego? Like, I want to listen to your accent, San Diego. San Diego?
Yes.
do you want me to insult you in my accent? Because I think that's the most easy way to talk like a
Can you
Chilean.
insult me?
Yeah, I love you.
Homeless. This guy's not
You really want me to?
What is
What?
Maybe like a quick letter first, maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Caste system based on how you're better how north you are and more shitty how south you are.
Bro, it's kind of bullshit. I have to call bullshit on that one. I'm from
They
Southern
literally
Italy.
call Sicilians dogs.
Bro, I'm from Sicily. They don't.
Yes,
Trust
they do. They
No,
literally
man.
view people from like Venice, fucking Sardinia, all these places.
No, man.
Milan area. They view them as like
Sardinia is-
superior.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
All right,
you
I'll
go.
tell you.
All right,
I'll tell you
so
how it is.
law
The
is
South
picking
hates the
people
North. The
fucking
North
IDs.
hates the
I don't know
South. For a lot of different reasons. Sardinia is its own thing. They mind their own fucking business. They're away. They speak their own fucking language, totally different from us. Like nobody even recognizes it. Like,
Not Sardinia like the island. I'm talking about the fucking Piedmont, I guess, and more.
oh, Piedmont. That's another fucking thing. Two completely different
Yes,
things.
I meant that.
Piedmont right now you won't in Piedmont and Lombardy you won't find a single Italian who doesn't have like grandparents from the south. You'll be lucky to find a pure northern Italian nowadays over there. If you go to Veneto, those kind of regions, Veneto, Trentino Alto Adige, that's you're gonna find locals there that don't have southern Italian ancestry, but it's more of a back and forth kind of deal. Like you said, they call Sicilians dogs, but Sicilians call Milanese dogs. Like it's the same fucking thing. It goes both ways. Central Italy is neutral territory. So Molise, Abruzzo, Rome, that's neutral territory. Nobody messes around with them. They don't give a shit.
You
They
know, you
just
guys have a random country, like two technically if you count the Papal States, but San Marino counts as like their little micronation.
yeah, they are a micronation.
It's so weird. It's a
Why?
random micronation, your nation.
Yeah.
You know, actually, one of the most capitalist nations in the world is actually also one of the most successful.
Which is
Crazy.
Liechtenstein.
Are you talking about Vatican City?
Wait,
No,
they have a
Liechtenstein.
well.
You've been
Syria.
denying this whole time.
I'm
You think that
Ubermensch.
people just have
What?
power in of itself.
What?
That's what your
When
argument
did
has
I
been.
say that
You
money
think
does
power
not
is just
equal
power,
power?
and it's not the
Money
driving
equals
force
high
isn't money.
high amounts of bitches.
The, dri-
That's what
the,
money
the, dri- the
equals.
primary source of power is money. Everyone knows that. That's what it is.
Again,
Or in the lips or in the like eyebrow or in the ear, it will always be like that because it's a piercing. That's just the nature of piercings.
Right.
But I wouldn't say you just can smell it on the person necessarily.
The fact that Div said that booger smell is the most retarded ass shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
booger smell.
You
I'm
said
not pointing that
booger.
out.
You
I think that, there's nothing defensible about Hitler. I just want to be entirely clear that the historical context is really, really important. And the fact that we kind of lay over that there was a lot of... It was at the borderline of a civil war in Germany before Hitler came.
Oh, I want to say that about that other thing that the guy was talking about the eyes. Men and women do see differently. I think women see more colors than men. Like it's a new study that says, and then men are more adept at seeing like motion. So when everybody was like, bullshit, like they just don't look at science.
Attending the Munich Beer Hall, there were a lot of people in there who had been there for like years since the Cat Putsch, who had been essentially saying that like the ex-military and the true Germans need to rise up. Hitler, being an ex-military and what he believed was a true German, was very much brought into this. He was naturally.
My view is that I thought Canadians totally cucked out and believed that Trudeau was right about that. But then again, I am politically biased. Are the Canadians kind of upset about that happening? Because that did seem like
The
total
Conservatives are upset about it happening. There's a political party that was for it and a political party that's against it. The political party that is in power is for it, and the political party that isn't in power is against it.
There's probably still a majority of the population here that like thinks it was all fine, but
it's like it's just
again, there's never a full consensus.
It's like
in democracies, even though I might meme about it personally.
If I may, Pig, it's like saying that like here's this like let's say that like there was like this protest that happened in DC, and like it was a like part of the Republican Party that was like doing this protest. The Republicans were like, yeah, they have the legal right to do it, we're not going to be there, but whatever. And then this protest got like shut down because like they're there for too long and they're like making like people's lives worse, whatever. In America, the Republicans would probably be for it, and the Democrats would probably be against it, right? Or like for the shutting down, Democrats would be for it, and Republicans would be for the protest, right? So just like that in Canada, the Conservatives are for the protests and the Liberals are for shutting it down.
So here's an example, and this is something that I'm just pulling up, just as like an example. But I can recall hearing examples of payment processors doing some shady shit for people politically, and this is like an example of it. How PayPal was going to use the Southern Poverty Law Center as a source for lists of quote-unquote hate groups or extremists that they would ban, and like the Southern Poverty Law Center is a big bunch of bullshit. That is like the Southern Poverty Law Center is deeply political and deeply full of shit. But
that's like very corporations even existing is deeply political. It's all politics, my dude. Are they partisan? What are you saying?
Yes, this is a
If
very
it wasn't
partisan-
the Southern
the
Poverty Law
SPLC
Center,
is
let's
deeply-
say it was let's say that it was a think tank that identified like the 50 most hateful groups, and NRA was still on that list. Would you still disagree with PayPal saying, "Hell yeah, now we're gonna block all of these fuckers"?
Okay, so if I believe the SPLC was like, if I believe that the SPLC was actually like not biased, I think I'd still have a problem with it, because I don't.
They are an organization that exists filled with humans. They're biased. They're all biased.
Well, yeah, but
you can't
I
escape
mean,
bias.
like treating them as all right. So there's a level of bias, and then there's a lot of disingenuous bias, right? So I'm not just saying,
You think
oh,
they're
they're biased. They have
disingenuous?
opinions. Yeah, they're deeply disingenuous. They lie. It's like saying that media matters.
Wait,
media
lying
matters
is not the
are
same
a
as
bunch
being
of lies.
disingenuous. Are they dishonest or disingenuous?
There's bias.
All right, you're splitting hairs here.
No, you're making very specific claims, and I want you to stick to them. Which is it? What are you trying to say? I don't get it.
You're splitting hairs here, dude.
No, you're saying they're political, and generally when people say that, what they're actually saying is that they disagree with their politics, which isn't the same, because it's all fucking politics, dude. There's nothing that's non-political. What? That's not a thing. It doesn't make any sense.
Muddying the waters. It's just equivocating, muddying the waters, and you're just splitting hairs, dude.
This is just
I don't know
so
how I can be more
anti-business, though.
clear to say that SPLC. All right, pause for a second. Yeah, anti-business. I despise the Republican platform of, oh, the business can do whatever they want. No, businesses that are deeply biased against my viewpoint, that are acting against my viewpoint, there should be regulation. I despise this like libertarian Reagan-esque boomer streak that
So the problem isn't that they're political. The problem is that you disagree with their politics. It's a completely different claim.
No, I think
what you
that
said, though,
using the
man.
word extremist in a disingenuous way is.
But it's not disingenuous. You accuse them of dishonesty. Is it genuous or dishonest? Completely different.
I still think you're splitting hairs, dude. It's like I'm
No,
saying
a
typo and you're putting up
disingenuous
a typo.
person doesn't need to be telling the fucking truth. What?
All right, all right.
They're completely different.
All right. You're being really autistic, okay? I am sorry to say that I can't read their minds, okay? I don't know if they believe what they are saying to be true, but I can say
Okay.
it seems like absolute bullshit. Is that clear enough for
Sure.
you?
Yeah, so you're
There we go.
saying that what they're
So
doing
they are
is factually
over-applying
inaccurate. Yeah.
They are over applying the word extremist and racist and whatever and everything else they do to a point that the average conservative is now an extremist, and
Do
the
you think that's
and
impossible? Or does you just like politically disagree with that?
I think that if that's what you believe, you are a histrionic pansy.
No, so do you accept that in some points of history this occurred? Do you think that in some points in history, in some countries, that this was the case?
All right, so humanity, I'm gonna like level with you. This is where like I actually come to like my sense of this is that this point is why I think there is no de-escalation, right? So if I were to believe that 40% of the country were diehard communists and we have to start socially excluding them, I would believe that there is going to come to a point where civil war is necessary. If you truly believe that, you are either, in my opinion, deeply misinformed, or if that is the case, we are on the precipice of civil war for deeply moral reasons, just like the original Civil War. That is the case. That is obviously not the case from my perspective, and if you truly believe that, you are a histrionic pansy. And that is why there is a divide.
I'm trying to pull you into making like specific, like objective claims, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. Because your language makes me think that that's not something that you're prioritizing, which is fair in normal like conversation. That's absolutely fine. But we're in like a more contentious, debatey kind of situation. That's why I'm trying to put the focus on that.
Like I'm not trying to make like I'm trying to have a conversation. I can tell you that I can totally see situations where social exclusion of a plurality of people could be justified, right? The idea that this right now, this present moment in the United States is one of those situations is deeply incorrect, deeply bigoted, intellectually bigoted, and it is the reason why we are experiencing social this social escalation.
Intellectually bigoted.
So what is your
Yes.
prescription in order to
Intellectually
feel or to
bigoted.
make in order
I
to
don't know what that
make
means.
Republicans or conservatives feel more accepted and get them back on side?
Like honestly, if you were to just like accept that people can have differences of like opinion and not be socially. All right, this is. I'm sorry, that response was a little pointed. So I think that there are examples of left-wing media and left-wing pundits and left-wing organizations attempting to exclude all conservatives from the market. And if that continues, conservatives are going to continue to entrench.
That sounds.
Huh?
Why would
Why would they
company
be
that
excluding
hasn't-
them from the
Yeah,
market? That doesn't
why
make any
would they do
sense.
that?
I
There's
don't
a
know.
whole
Why would
population
PayPal be
of
interacting with the SPLC? I don't know.
It's a logical
Why would
conclusion. A
Disney?
business has an
I don't
incentive
know.
to make profit. Why would they
Disney
do that?
come-
Doesn't make any
All
sense.
right. Pause for a second. Stop for a moment.
It
I don't
seems
know.
like in certain
Why
cases,
would
like
Disney
theoretically,
make a
theoretically a
about the
business
Don't Say
can
Gay
like
bill? They are doing it right now.
theoretically a
Okay.
business
That is
can-
happening.
Theoretically, a
No,
business
so
can take
not-
a hit and profit on moral grounds. We do this all the
Yeah.
time.
But that isn't
Theoretically,
what he said. He said
it's
exclude them
possible.
from the market, not
Yes.
dissociate. No, not that. So
All right.
excluding
The
someone from the
example I just
market
gave-
means excluding someone from the market means that you are trying to get everyone to deny them service, not personally denying them service.
Yeah, absolutely. That happens all the fucking time, dude.
Can I ask you a question? So is your okay? Sorry, I've been zoning out because I've been playing Diablo. I'm sorry. But right now. So is your argument that fact that because that they're taking sides on certain political issues, that they're completely ignoring one side of the population and are only focusing on one half of the market?
That's a part of it, but the other side of it is that there are high-profile examples of these companies, mostly payment transactions and everything. Like the one example I gave is PayPal attempting to work with the SPLC. The SPLC is, biased against conservatives and targets regular conservatives. So if you are targeting regular normal conservatives for having their accounts deleted and not being able to access PayPal, that is an example of social exclusion by corporations. It seems to be that this is happening, this is ramping up, and that is why conservatives are like entrenching.
Wait, from my own understanding, what regular conservatives have been targeted by the SPLC?
Like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder?
They've been targeted by the SPLC.
I think that's so odd though
Those
because
are
that's a
media
business
personalities. Those are not
Those are
regular
not-
conservatives.
Oh my god!
I mean, like, still,
your
all right,
point,
all right,
that's
pause
a
for a second.
business literally
Well,
being
pause for
able
a
to
second.
choose. That's the business literally being able to choose who they want their constituency and their customer base to be. That sounds like capitalism working at its finest.
Right, B. I disagree that capitalism should work like that. I am not of the opinion that free reign laissez-faire capitalism is justified. People
so
don't work
are
for
you a
the economy, the
socialist then?
economy works for the people. No, absolutely not. I just disagree with
Wait, so
this
who do you
hardline
want in
voodoo
charge if
reaganistic
not
fucking
private
position.
capital and not the workers? Who do you want then?
I mean, like a combination of both and the government. Like, it's like separation of powers and competition.
Everybody here has discretion as to what's acceptable and not acceptable for a corporation to do. This is a stupid line of attack for you to take against.
Yeah, I mean,
Naked
this
Ape.
just sounds like everyone's position mostly.
Also, I'm also over Phoenix. You're right. This guy does sound like Naked Ape. You're dead ass correct.
I am
Dude, I get that kind of thing all the fucking time.
You're a dead
Ben
ringer.
Shapiro,
Better
I
or
get
for
like
worse.
everybody. I don't fucking know, dude.
I thought he sounds
I have
like
a very
the ape.
unfortunate voice.
A little bit, but Naked Ape is the king on this one. There's no one else could beat.
But anyway, that aside, what was the next like comment?
I don't know how you're connecting that SPLC is somehow excluding Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder from PayPal. Seems like you're making
So-
like a lot of assumptions like along those lines.
All right, so
Like, I'm looking at the list of
PayPal was-
extremists right now, and there's no one even close to being like a moderate conservative on that list.
And more importantly, those are fucking media pundits. In terms of virtue signaling, they're like top of the pile. That's not a regular conservative at all.
Well, I mean, like,
Christian conservatives that they have on their list of hate groups.
so like Majid Nawaz, who is a liberal that is a former Islamic radical, the SPLC labeled him as anti-Muslim extremists. Now,
He
they
What
were
is his
sued.
name? I have the
They were
list up
sued.
right now. What's the name?
Wait, I am
Majid
particularly
Nawaz and the SPLC was sued by this and had to settle, right?
No,
So
I'm
that
particularly familiar with this figure, and that is not completely correct. I am only familiar with him as an offshoot of my research into Sam Harris back when I was a fucking crazy fucking anti-religious person. But dude, Majid Nawaz has made many conflations in terms of his talks about the Middle East and how calling many parts of the Islam innately fucking terroristic.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
the SPLC
I'm
got
sorry
the
to say
dub
that there
on that
are
case.
certain
That's the thing.
there are certain
Oh, okay.
sects of Islam that do
Or no, I mean they got the L.
do advocate for
Nawaz
terrorism.
won that case specifically, so he'll keep referring to that.
I mean, like I don't have all the information, but the fact that he won the case is like a good example. But like that's an example of the SPLC not just targeting conservative, but
Like
targeting a liberal.
unfortunately
that
for
went
him, he
against the
threw it all
political-
away on like COVID insanity. But yeah,
Did he? I haven't kept track of him.
yeah,
But-
he's a goner
Oh, that's
because
sad.
of COVID conspiracy shit. So yeah.
But anyway, the point is that PayPal was working with the SPLC to target people who are extremists. They have been wrong and libelous in who they have called an extremist before, and I see that as corporations working to exclude not just average conservatives, but a liberal that goes against the politically correct narrative. So that's even like more to my point that this social exclusion is a problem. I don't know. Maybe this seems like a Moat and Bailey tactic that I always get from the left when I talk about this. It's like it's either this isn't happening or it is happening, but it's good. And it's like I always feel like silly about this. Like maybe this is my bias and my media that I'm consuming, but like it's like such a clear thing to me that there is this huge bias from corporate media, from these institutions, from social media, that it is impacting people, that it is a problem, and that it's happening. And I feel like I'm an insane person trying to prove that reality is fucking real.
I mean, I just haven't seen much sign of social exclusion here, right?
Yeah, I
the
haven't seen
figures
any
you're
at all.
pointing to aren't normal fucking people. They're super duper fucking famous, and there's only like
Najib-
few of them.
All right.
Yeah, I don't see anybody getting
What-
banned for
what is
wanting
going
low
to be-
taxes or.
I mean, we
Well,
can.
all right. First of all,
maybe a more
hypothetically
interesting, maybe
speaking-
a more interesting conversation would be focusing on like the perils of labeling like half the population ontologically evil.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point. But I mean, even like bringing backpedaling a little bit, if PayPal excluded Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder, that would be a big fucking problem. That is viewpoint discrimination.
That's
fine. No, but you should be fighting.
I mean, listen.
From
Here's
your
the thing.
from your
This is the Moulton
perspective, you
Bailey
should be
thing.
fighting
It's like,
this purely on like the
No,
divide
I think it's
ground.
fine when we don't help ISIS do their payment processing. I think it's fine when we don't help any particular person
Like,
do
yeah,
their
boy,
payment
for your
processing.
sake, you should probably be focusing this on a purely rhetorical sense and the impact of that, and instead of focusing on the legalistic shit, which might not be fruitful.
that is like kind of like what I was going after. I mean, the fact that if you were to exclude Ben
But
Shapiro,
that's your
Steven
problem.
Crowder,
You
these
keep
other
going on
people,
fucking crazy
that
tangents.
is essentially saying that any of their fans are by extension extremists. That's half the fucking population, dude.
That's
Those
bold of
fans
you
are
to
the ones
assume that
who
50% of the
do it.
population watches those people though entirely.
No, like 50% of the people would agree with most of their positions.
Maybe, but
I don't know
think
about that.
That's still a bit of a
Come on.
stretch as well. There's a lot of boomer conservatives that
30%,
probably won't even watch or
40%,
listen to
come on.
them.
He's
30%,
just joking,
40%.
man. I think a lot of people are a bit like wonky between what they consume and what they believe.
This is true. Yes.
Like I listen to I have listened to Destiny sometimes, so I can understand why you'd say that. But still, like it tends. If I think that a significant portion of Americans would agree with these people, and denying them access, what is to keep PayPal from denying an individual citizen access at the next step? What is the actual deleting issue
What
there?
is the basis? Well, first of all,
public blowback.
there's
Wait, can you
there's
say that again one more
you're
time?
You're drawing the
What is
link
to keep
way too
what is to
strong.
keep PayPal or Chase from stop interacting with somebody with an individual person and not a public figure? Like that's like the logical
public
next
blowback.
step.
Public blowback. That's it.
Yeah. All right. What you just said there, that is a fucking dystopia. The idea
No, it isn't.
that like
this
no,
is
yes, it
history.
yes,
This
that
is reality.
social credit.
That's
It is
the free
fucking
market,
Chinese
baby.
dystopia you're
Let's
talking
go.
about.
Okay, yeah, boy. This is the case throughout every era of history at all points in time. This isn't a dystopia. It's reality.
Bullshit.
It's the free
Can you
market.
tell me a point in American history where it was not the case that a private actor could refuse service and the effective only defense outside of our legal frameworks of protected classes was in fact social pushback?
Yes, I am sorry. I didn't know that you were for segregation in certain circumstances.
This isn't segregation though. This is just the free
is
market.
this
Everyone is for segregation.
This is the person refusing
also,
service to somebody else, and that's allowed.
Is this an effective like stopgap in a society that's so polarized as the one we live in right now?
And what-
I wonder.
I have to know what was. First of all, one, you're drawing a link that isn't really like solid, like because like PayPal talks to the SPLA, that's going to lead to like conservatives, like normal conservatives being like linked because they labeled Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder as
Okay,
radical.
all right.
But what was the what did they label Steven Crowder as radical for? That's why I went.
I don't know. He made like a China joke. He did China face, some stupid thing that Sarah Silverman has done 10 times in a year.
Yeah, and she lost a movie deal because of that. She's been chastised for it too, and she's
Yeah.
apologized. Steven Crowder hasn't. So like, but I don't think these are
Yeah, and
comparable.
he shouldn't apologize because that's some fucking stupid bullshit.
It's not stupid bullshit. Doing fucking
It is-
racist. That's pretty
It
bad.
is
All right?
total bullshit,
You might not
dude.
care about
I'm
it.
sorry to
but
say
it's
this.
bad.
I know that like having a sense of humor is not in vogue
Yeah,
right
this
now,
isn't
but
about having a sense
racial
of humor. You
humor can be
can't play
fun.
this game anymore where it's
Anything
like, oh, this is
can
not
be
how
funny. Holocaust jokes can be funny. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
you should actually support those positions. And
All right,
fucking
listen.
Steven
listen.
Crowder certainly signals
here's a-
supports for the positions that he jokes about.
Here's an
I feel like now we're getting into a
here's an
different
insane idea
conversation.
for you.
And he does
All right, here's an
talk
insane
about
idea for you.
positions.
Maybe
Stupid.
you are deeply political biased and you don't understand that you can make a joke without supporting that position.
Oh my god, this is just the
All
same
humans
thing. This
are
is so
deeply political
stupid.
bias in the sense that they engage in politics. They know about politics. When you say that, you're
Okay.
saying nothing.
You're
So
just using
I feel like the
humor as
issue
a
you're having right
shield,
now is
which
you're
is
trying
so
to
weak.
say
He just
I'm very
he should
invested in
just-
having
he should
murder
just-
be illegal.
he-
Wow, crazy.
Should just frame it as party bias instead, like partisan bias.
Yeah, partisanship is way more measurable than politicalness. No, everything's
Yeah.
like 100% political all the time.
And
It's
like
completely
frankly
useless as a
speaking,
framework.
I find the idea that like racial humor is suddenly like verboten
No,
because
racial
we
humor
have
is
Type of
fine.
racial humor, dude.
like 5
It's
years
about
ago.
it's about the basis of the joke, right? You can
We are
joke
doing
about racial
a
humor
complete
where you're
and
calling
total
out like
shutdown on Bing Shilling posting in this Discord. No more Bing Shilling.
Yo.
Christ.
What the hell
So
is
you,
mutual
you can make racial humor
Oh, it's
where
not,
the
equitable.
point
I'm
of the
sorry, that was
joke.
bad faith. I'm sorry. That was 100% bad faith on my part. But still.
You can make jokes where the point of the joke is like how horrible racial apartheid was, or you can make a joke where the crux of the joke, the thing that makes it funny, is how degenerate blacks are. You can make both kinds of jokes. It's not about the racial humor.
And
It's
we're
about
only ever
what is
allowed
that
to
joke
punch
actually
up and never
signaling.
allowed to punch down. Honest truth, dude.
No,
this
that's
is you
not
like
about it. That's
reading
not
into
what
it
he
in
said
such
at
a, like,
all,
really,
dude. This
really
isn't
silly
about
way.
punching down. You didn't
Your
listen.
boy, Humanity
You
was
didn't listen.
explaining it in more context, and you just didn't even
technically, you
listen.
can
Just
say
listen to
that.
Humanity.
So, did you get what I'm saying? Because I wasn't saying punch up or down. I'm saying you can make
So,
a
like,
joke that has like racial premises without it being racist,
So,
and you can also make a
let's-
joke with the
let's-
same premise
let's take-
about the same subject that's mega racist.
Let's
can do
take a
both.
pretty little object that you're like hyper focusing on in some deeply partisan biased way out, and let's talk about a joke about something else like abortion or suicide. I told this joke in front of people that I thought was funny. What's the difference between 9/11 and a cow?
I don't know what.
You stop milking a cow after 10 years. I thought it was pretty funny,
I mean, that's
right?
just that's solid. I mean, that's
solid
just
joke.
like political.
But there's a lot of people I told. I told in a couple places with conservatives who said, "Oh, that's not funny." Oh, because there were people who died. That's making fun of a serious event. Yes, it is making fun of a serious event. Yes, you can make jokes about suicide. Yes, you can make jokes about racism. Yes, you can make racist jokes. That's all justified. There is no line. Right? You can't just draw a line and say,
You're
"These jokes are bad."
this is a whole different.
What you can say that if you are making these jokes and you have arguments behind it, arguments that suggest that you believe in it, yes, I can understand that. But to say that Steven Crowder has done that, I think you're reaching. I think that's your partisan bias.
Okay, so do you agree that your joke relies on particular
done?
premises being acknowledged as like true by your what is the person? Your audience.
That specific joke, sure.
Yeah, like in fact, you'll find virtually all jokes work this way, right? And those premises, like in your example, right? It's basically like the milking is like a disingenuous, right? You didn't even push it to something partisan because you could say, you know, both Democrats and Republicans milk it in different ways, whatever the fuck, right? But you can make the same thing where the premises are, oh, well, blacks just inherently inferior, right? Doesn't matter how the circumstances change.
All right,
them,
but like
they're still
pause
just
for a
going to be
second.
inferior, right?
I'm a big fan of like humor in irony. Now, I'm going to say I can understand how somebody who is being quote unquote ironically racist in the moment could be seen as actually racist because it is like a part of the joke is you don't know if I am racist. Ooh. And yes, that is something that I can see from your perspective. I think that's funny. I think I don't think Steven Crowder does that, but I'm going to push this like a level before. I think making racist jokes that are racist is funny because it's like, hey guys, I'm being racist. Isn't that stupid? I think that's funny personally. In certain circumstances.
so like this
if that's the joke, yes, but
I can
you'll
hear what
find
you're saying.
that
If you're
isn't
saying-
oftentimes the case.
you're
Oftentimes
saying,
the joke is and racism, and yeah, you should be
if you're
racist.
saying, like as an example, and this is the thing: if you're like making a joke, hey, I'm pointing out a stereotype, dude, that's not racist. Stereotypes exist, and it's funny to joke about. If you're pointing out that, hey, I believe that blacks are lesser people, I can understand how that could be crossing a line. But here's the thing: my line, the only line that I would have about a joke is it funny? And is it only funny?
You're not
funny to like white?
So, your boy, I want you to try and engage on where other people are coming from, right? So, when people say, hey, we shouldn't say like racist things in general, not just specifically jokes, but in general, right? Why are they saying that?
All right, are you talking about like in social situations? I'm sorry, dude.
Just like across society, like public signaling, political speech is fucking everywhere, right? Generally, we're like, no, don't be fucking racist there.
The argument tends to be that the left believes that if you state these things, then it will lead to violence, which is bullshit.
Well, no, it's that it'll lead to racism, right? If you tell people racist things, they will tend to believe racist things, and therefore enact racist policy.
See, I just think that joking about racist things and joking even using racism in your jokes, I think that people are more intelligent than that. maybe there is like a minority of like retards who will listen to somebody being racist in a joke, or will listen to like a Dave Chappelle joke or something like that and think, oh, we should hate white people, that kind of stuff. Maybe there is a minority, but I don't think that we should disallow like jokes that are even edgy and offensive because a minority of retards are going to take that serious. I think that's just like
it's not taking it seriously. That's the problem, right? The thing is,
now,
they
if you were to
understand.
say like somebody like Nick Fuentes, if Nick Fuentes is in a room and saying, "Hey, you know that guy's Jewish," like I can understand at some point if somebody keeps making a joke or says it over and over, at some point you have to question whether or not they're truly being ironic, right? Or if somebody is making a joke and it doesn't have the irony, I can understand that. But making
It doesn't
like a
matter
joke
whether
like,
it's ironic.
I think
the
it totally
irony.
does, dude.
The irony is just about them personally. Right? The question is, what are they signaling? What are they putting out into the world? What are they making?
This is like, all right, so like at that point you're basically saying that you have like you can read Steven Crowder's mind and understand
No,
that he
I'm
does
saying I
things.
can't.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I can't. I don't care what's in his mind. I'm saying what he actually does is what's important.
Okay, why?
What does he do though?
Because
Like,
I think
he
very
doesn't make
racist
jokes.
like
He doesn't make he make racy jokes, but
racist. Not even
racist.
racist. These are racist. Like he's you can't even deny that if you know his
All right,
content.
so is his white jokes racist?
Yes.
Is his white jokes racist as well?
What are the
So-
white jokes?
alright,
What
so
did
all
he
his
say about
jokes-
white people?
all
What
his
did he
jokes-
say?
Is it okay
When
to
he made
joke
fun
about
of the-
white people?
when
Like
he-
call white
Shut the
people?
fuck
like-
up! I'm not
it's
asking
okay
you.
to joke about
When he made
anyone.
fun
You
of-
just need
Calm
to
the
do
fuck
it
down.
without being racist.
When he made fun of the Klan being a bunch of fucking nerds playing D&D and they just wanted to take it out because they call themselves like Lords, Dragons, and shit like that.
That's
Is
not
that
against
fucking
white
racist?
people. That's not against white people. That's against
Who
incels
was
and
in
people
the
that have
Klan?
followed along the lines.
Who was in the Klan? He specifically said white people.
If I
that
make
wasn't
fun
a
of
racist
basketball players, does that mean I just hate black people?
Yes.
Dude, Kermit, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Calm the
What
fuck
the
down,
fuck's wrong
dude.
with you?
What's your
You say you're a fucking nationalist. You're a socialist nationalist. That's what you
Dude,
are.
dude,
Oh my
like
god.
seriously,
Thanks for
And he
derailing.
calm the
He
fuck
makes
down,
fun
dude.
of-
What is your
He
fucking
makes
problem?
fun of
Me?
Antifa
Who
people.
fucked
being
your
like,
ass
"Oh,
this
white
morning,
people
dude?
and
Did
shit like that."
you
Like,
forget that
what
you're
are you
blue?
talking
Me?
about?
Relax.
You're the
anyone
guy that
remember-
says you're a nationalist, but you don't want to stand by your country. You're a pussy. You're a
Does
Catholic.
anyone remember a specific joke Steven
Dude,
Crowder has
fucking
made
relax,
that
dude.
we could use as an example?
Like seriously, you got like a huge problem. Like you got anger issues,
Seriously, you
dude.
got a huge problem, dude.
True. Like what?
True.
Yeah,
what
you do.
joke has
Like,
Steven
what are
Crowder
Let's
you
just
made
move
that
on
you
from
guys
Kermit.
are
Let's just
thinking-
move on from Kermit. It's not worth arguing over that. What?
Anyway, like the one example of a joke that somebody brought up is that Steven Crowder used Asian face, and I thought that sounded fucking hilarious. To be honest with you.
Oh, what do you mean
uh,
by that? Could you? Sorry, just to clarify.
He like had like a stereotypical shit. You know Breakfast at Tiffany's?
What's it?
That
He
thing.
had buck tooth, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big glasses, the big hat, the weird Chinese dress, and he had the
Oh,
Mr.
right.
Honey
Was it
accent.
Was it
Right, the thing that
was it
Logan
during
Paul
his
wore when he went to
cultural
Japan.
appropriation month?
Yeah,
Was
like-
it during his cultural
Yeah,
appropriation
the
month?
thing that 5 years ago every single comedian had done, and that now we're like up our fucking ass about because that's
Yeah,
going to
that
support
things
racism.
times
Don't say
change. What
5
do you
years
want?
ago.
Wait,
Every
you
comedian
know,
was
back
out
in the
there.
day, we used to have like slaves and shit. Like,
Uh-huh.
no, the
Yes.
past can be terrible. That's not an excuse
Yes.
for the present.
Yes, of course, and this is totally analogous because
No, the point is the
because using
basis
that
of your
is just the
defense is
exact same
nonsense.
thing.
The
No,
basis of your
no,
defense is
I'm
nonsense
pointing
to
out
begin
that
with.
this-
No.
So the
Stop that. Do you think it's the same thing for every single last race? He did it with everything. It's called a cultural appropriation month. He does it with all the cultures. He's done it with white cultures, all the shit, African cultures, everything.
You can be racist against many groups. It's actually not that hard.
Oh, come the fuck on. That's just
I mean,
reaching.
look, I mean,
It's
no,
just
no,
reaching
that's
of the
true.
highest order. That's all you're
No,
doing.
I'm. Oh my God, no! I'm making no specific claim here. I'm saying, hey, your defense there is nonsense, right? Someone can in fact be both racist to like Serbs and Croatians and like
All
every
right,
single
so
ethnic group.
this is
Actually,
disingenuous. This is disingenuous. You're not listening to the argument, okay? The
No, I
argument
am,
is-
and I'm saying,
you're
no,
not.
the basis
You're
of the
not.
argument
It's
is flawed.
disingenuous. All right, so the argument is not that hey, he's racist to everybody. The argument is that you can tell the intent of a joke by the context of that
I don't
joke.
care about
and we
the
are
intent.
I have a
fighting-
much more simpler
Stop
question.
caring about the
A bunch of
intent.
black people
Suddenly
tell
not
you
matter
that your
to
joke
you?
about black people is
Intent does not
racist,
matter to me, right?
Or have you
Lip shits
been
from their
being
fucking
racist?
jokes?
I can make how do I describe this, right? I can make a shitty joke that actually, like, I didn't consider something, I didn't know some historical fact, and I'm actually saying something that's, like, super offensive, and, like, I'm calling for the death of, like, an entire ethnic group, right? That's possible. Intent doesn't matter there. The point is that I fucked up there, and I should apologize if I do something like that.
No, go fuck yourself.
It's a joke.
Yeah, you don't have
It's
an
a joke.
argument.
Go fuck yourself.
You don't think like calling for like a pogrom is bad, and that you should apologize if you end up doing that?
I think that making jokes about the Holocaust are okay. I think that I make jokes
that's
to
the
my
same
friends all the
thing
fucking
as?
time.
Do you think that's the same thing as calling for a Holocaust in joke form? Like, for example,
I
Nick
think that
Fuentes
you're
does?
equivocating. I think that okay, all right, stop. That's entirely different. With Nick Fuentes,
Why?
You can't tell if he's not lying. You can't tell if it's just a joke.
I don't care if it's a joke or not. The point is, he calls.
All right.
He's
You
like, yeah,
don't care if
Holocaust
it's a
good.
joke, but I do. If it's a joke, it's a fucking joke. Get the
Yeah,
fuck over
jokes can signal. Jokes are speech, my dude. Jokes
All
can
right,
signal
fine.
intent. Jokes can
There
tell you
is a
things.
difference
Jokes
between
can
joke
contain
and
messages.
what you say that you mean.
You're just using
It
jokes.
doesn't
Again,
matter
you
whether
just-
you mean it. What matters
Yes,
is what the
it
joke is
fucking
saying.
does. Oh
What
my
matters
God.
is what the joke is saying.
Yeah, boy,
like I
it
said
doesn't
before,
matter what you
there
mean.
is
It's
such a
matter how
thing as
people interpret it.
ironic
If a bunch
humor.
of black people are telling your black joke is racist, you're being racist, my guy.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know,
good
dude.
odds,
Maybe
anyway.
black people are
What
just
is-
oversensitive to a joke. That could
If you
also
stab
Oh my
somebody in the
God, there we
stomach,
go.
everybody
Mask
tells you
off.
to stab them in
Mask
the
off.
stomach.
No,
You
wait,
stab
stop for a
you.
second. If white people are saying that, hey, you're being racist, are you going to tell white people, stop being so sensitive? White bread is
No!
not. That happens all the
No!
fucking time. People
We're-
in this.
are
in
you
this
shadow
No,
boxing
country
right now?
anti-white
there's
racism is like
racism
mega
against
cringe,
white
dude.
people.
No, you
I think
don't
it's
just
perfectly
ignore
fucking
it
fine.
because it's against white people.
Are
What
you
the fuck?
looking at YouTube videos and reading tweets? Nobody is saying racism against white people is okay. We're all saying that is bad.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
No,
I'm
that's
saying that
not even
racist
true.
jokes against white people are perfectly fine. That's what I'm saying.
No, I think
Sorry,
they're
can
bad.
I try?
Don't
I
be
think-
racist.
I think that that would actually be bad. Like, why would we want people to be racist to white people?
What are you talking?
I
Who
think
said that?
if
Who
it's a
said that?
joke,
Who in
it's
here
funny.
said that? Who
It's
said that?
fucking
Okay.
funny.
Oh, and here.
I
no
mean,
one.
gee,
No,
this
You
is
do-
Where are
what,
you
like,
hearing
okay.
these voices from?
Actually,
are you
let me
schizophrenic?
ask this:
Okay,
This
we're
is
not
have
talking
you
about
comedy
this.
that lasts
ever-
We're
like
not talking
30
about
years.
just in here.
have you ever consumed anything like a minstrel show?
No. And
Yes.
I can
'Cause
understand
I'll
why
tell
you
you.
would. And listen, there's a specific difference, okay? That difference, this is magical difference, okay?
God.
I understand that this is too hard for you to consider, but it's called context.
We already
It
said
Okay,
that.
matters.
what
Context is important.
So
Yeah, boy,
what about the
how-
context like makes minstrel shows where they're joking in a racist way bad, but Steven Crowder when he jokes in a what we call racist way good?
The context is
Vibes.
intent. The context is
No.
whether or not you really mean it. That's the
So
context.
your boy, if I Jesus fuck, your boy, if I accidentally shoot you in the face, is that fine? Or is it actually
All right,
bad because I shot you in the face?
stop.
That's
There
a
is a
very-
difference between manslaughter and murder. Go fuck yourself. Like that's a
Answer
stupid
the question.
dishonest
And
thing.
does that have to
Even
do with
in-
that? No.
Even in this
Do we still put people in
disanalogous
prison
even
for
in this
manslaughter?
disanalogous bullshit argument, there's a difference between manslaughter and murder.
I'm not asking you about legal distinctions. I'm asking you to
Matters.
categorize it as good or bad.
Intent matters and
Can you
context
categorize
matters.
it as good or bad?
Again,
All right.
you're saying
If
that
you're
when a
taking-
bunch
all
of
right, all
people
right,
that are
stop.
the target of
Now-
the joke tell you
now
that that
you are
joke is
being
racist, that they need to stop
completely-
being sensitive.
Now you're completely
Well,
completely
the joke can
disingenuous.
still be considered racist. What you
There's
buy
no
saying
disingenuousness here, man.
It wouldn't matter.
So, in your
It's
mind,
totally
then no
different
joke can be
disingenuous
racist. Then they just have to stop being sensitive.
No. He's saying the joke is.
Well,
can
he
be
seems
racist,
to think
it's just-
some can be racist, but it's
I
only if
think
like
it
they're trying to
matters
be
if
racist
you
about it.
Yeah. That's what he's saying.
This is
Listen,
literally no. All
Remember
this
the joke-
is
I guess
literally
it's only
the
racist if you're
only-
like actually killing Jews. So.
No,
bro,
the
listen.
problem is, no,
You
the
can
problem is
consider
he
the
likes,
joke
the only
actually-
reason he's defending Steven Crowder for not being racist is because he likes him and doesn't think he's racist.
All
but he thinks other
right.
people are.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. You
all
don't
it
know
is.
That's
my
literally
mind.
it. That is literally it.
No,
That's
no,
literally
Not a
all
bad
it is.
guy.
That's your only point.
No. You bought. You got the
Pull your
second
head
part
out of
right.
your
You got the
fucking
second
ass.
part.
I can tell you what my fucking opinion is. You
Bro.
can't put your opinion in my fucking mouth.
You bought,
I know
just
you'd like to
ignore
put
the
your
first
things in my
part,
mouth, but
what
you
he
can't.
said. The second part of what you said's right, right?
And all you do is just defend the things you like over things you don't like. That's it.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I'm nitpicking and biased. Congratulations, you win the argument. Jesus Christ. That's the most smooth brain bullshit argument. Thank you for defeating that straw man.
Yelling at each other. I didn't even know. Like I read one comment in the chat. Like the nuances humanity is trying to introduce is technically incoherent. I'm like, damn, they are screaming at each other right now. I know it.
It's fine.
But humanity, like the reason why your analogy is disanalogous is because killing somebody is wrong.
You already said that earlier. You said that earlier.
Do you agree that having a racist society is wrong?
Always. And
do you
death,
agree that having a race,
an unneeded death is bad always. That is completely disanalogous.
Didn't you say last night it's okay to kill possible pedophiles?
do you agree that having a racist society is bad?
But this is
dude, get out of here. Will you shut the fuck up? I'm not talking to you. Will you shut the fuck up? Didn't you like a little baby boy cuss, like watch me and say, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you.
Kremit, chill. You answer me. I get it. You demon time. I get it. But like you, can you answer humanity's question?
What was the question?
Humanity.
I fucking forget. I got derailed by all this.
No. Right, so he said.
I'm sorry. Like Kermit's being a narcissist. You were saying like, is it intent? Does intent matter if you pick up a gun and shoot somebody? Now here's the thing.
That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question.
That wasn't the question. The most recent question was, is it
bad for being racist?
The most recent question was, is it bad to have a racist, like a society that's racist? But that's where the difference. That's where your boys, because he wouldn't consider if a society makes racist jokes, he wouldn't consider the society racist. That's where the difference is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good representation. Just making a racist joke doesn't make you racist.
Why not?
Yeah,
true.
Okay.
That's where the argument
but you
of intent
agree,
comes in, that's why
seemingly, or rather, let me ask this: do you agree that minstrel shows were a part of upholding racism?
Yes, but again, context and intent matters.
I don't see how intent could matter in terms of the outcome of a minstrel show.
No.
I think the
mind readers, can we divine the intent of the actors?
I think the difference is that we know for a fact that the people that did minstrel shows were actual KKK racists.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's why he's arguing about intent. Because your boy obviously believes Steven Crowder doesn't have a bad intent. Like he's actually just joking. That's why he's defending Steven Crowder. Whereas with that,
or at least we can have a debate. Whereas with minstrel shows, we know for a damn well fact what the intent was.
Also, when it comes to Steven Crowder, there's other. When it comes to Steven Crowder, it's not just that he did like the yellowfish thing. He also attacked a reporter because of her aggressively Asian face and other things too. Like the guy had. The context isn't on your side. Like the guy didn't go out of his way to be racist to people.
Free my boy Tony.
Yeah, like he.
That shit is crazy, Johnny. Well, that shit is crazy.
And then he started talking about
can you think that that's not hilarious? Dude, that's fucking funny.
This is the problem. He tried to point out, we're trying to point out that, like, the same context why you think Nick Fuentes could be racist for making racist jokes, and why Crowder is the same, and your only argument is, oh, well, it's funny, so it's okay.
No. That's not the argument.
That's not the argument. That's why you're defending him. That's
not the argument, and that is again like a ridiculous straw man of my position, dude. That's not what I'm saying.
It doesn't seem like it though. That's the issue.
Wait, it's not the
Hang
same.
on,
You can't
you're coming in from the.
So sorry. All right. So again, here's the thing. My whole argument is that context matters and intent matters, right? If I have a friend or if I'm a comedian, right, and if I am on a stage and I say a racist joke, that's different than me going up to the street and saying, "Hey, black guy, I'm gonna be black." You know, that's different.
Okay,
How's
that different?
Because a comedian. All right. So as an example, going up to somebody and telling a suicide joke is not okay. All right. If you're a comedian and you're telling a suicide joke, it is perfectly fine.
So if I'm a comedian right now and I say the N-word,
he wasn't done talking. He wasn't done talking.
All right. Here's the thing. Yes, comedians can say bad words. 100%.
Again, this is just you using comedy as a shield.
I'm a comedian. I'm a vocal.
Everyone can just
actually just be racist. You just have cognitive dissonance right now.
Tomorrow,
like using the N-word as a comedian.
Say, I'm a comedian. There you go.
If Nick Fuentes comes out tomorrow and
you
says,
don't need a license.
Stand up, suddenly it's okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's
You're
the thing.
either like
Nick
racist or like a
Fuentes-
useful idiot for them.
Nick Fuentes is not a comedian. He is a political actor.
Again,
There is a
okay, so the
difference.
next
He can transition
No, by your logic,
tomorrow.
hypothetically, if you went back in time before you knew about him and he came out as a comedian first and then started doing racist shit, you'd have nothing to say against him.
It would
You'd be defending
depend.
him.
It would depend if there's enough context for me to intuit his intention.
What's the
And if
context?
there is no
Why does
context
that
to
matter?
intuit-
He doesn't become less of a
Because
comedian just
intention
because he's
doesn't
doing
matter.
it for
Hold up,
political
hold up.
reasons.
Right, he's saying
Because
He's telling the
intention
same number of
matters.
jokes.
If I'm saying something, there. All right. Here's the
Doug, you're on
context.
hold, dude.
If I'm saying something to make you laugh, that is different than saying something to make you believe in that the Holocaust isn't true.
Wait, Nick
But
Fuentes
you
is
can do
literally
both.
part of his
That's
entire
the
business
context.
model is
Nick
being a
Fuentes,
comedian.
All about
What the fuck are you
the
going
Nick
on about?
Fuentes,
All right, let's
Nick
do it one at a
Fuentes
time.
tries
Go
to do
ahead.
both.
Well, he fails. But the issue is that
Yeah, because
he
he's
has
not funny,
intent.
but we can imagine a funny version of him. No, it's not impossible to think of that.
You could imagine a funny version about it, but the issue is if they are. It depends on if they are attempting to grow racism. If you're just saying a racist joke to make somebody laugh, that's different than saying a racist joke to make racism more palatable.
Yeah, a racist joke would like normalize.
Yeah, but
wait,
what if you aren't doing it to make racism more palatable, but it makes racism more palatable?
Just by consequence.
At that point, I go back to the earlier thing where it's like I'm not going to disallow jokes because dumb retards can't tell it's a joke.
No, not retards. Smart people. Everyone looks at that joke and is like, "Ha, that is making racism sound better." Yes. And everyone understands it correctly, smartly, intelligently. It's not about being a retard. It's about understanding what it's saying.
You are treating people like retards. You're treating people like they have no mental faculties.
No. I'm saying everyone has mental faculties. Everyone analyzes what the joke is saying, what the point of it is, what the crux of it lies upon, what the premises that it builds on are, and they're all like, yeah, that does make racism sound better. Now, a ton of people are like, oh, that is in fact offensive because I don't agree with racism, but they all understand what the joke is saying. And some of them are, of course, convinced because they're like, yeah, racism is good.
Their argument back, dude. This is the same argument that video games cause violence. You have no fucking evidence of this. This is pure speculation.
All right.
So now you're saying you don't believe that jokes can cause people to be racist, but you said you agreed that minstrel shows could do that earlier. I asked you earlier if you accept. Oh my God! So I asked you earlier if this was possible, and you said yes. So you already agreed to this.
That's not true. That's disingenuous. That is not correct. Okay.
Are minstrel shows not essentially stand-up shows with more costumes? Are they not a kind of joking thing?
Here's the thing. So here's what I'm going to say. Sarah Silverman, if Sarah Silverman has blackface and does like a minstrel blackface, that doesn't necessarily increase racism. You have no evidence of that. Minstrel shows were done by white people specifically for the purpose of increasing racism. There is an intent.
They were done for entertainment.
They were done for entertainment, and the funny thing was laughing at black people. Period. Sarah Silverman does it. If Sarah Silverman does it today, it's the same
but there's an
effect.
actual racist intent behind that.
First off, I think we are assuming this because I don't think everybody in the minstrel show felt like this.
Yeah,
probably.
Right.
Some people could have been like not racist, but right, yeah. So that's not even the point. I mean, when we're talking about particularly the black people within, I mean, the white people in those shows, we're assuming that they're all KKK members. This may not necessarily be true, and even still, like again, like the point wasn't to like encourage racism directly. It was to entertain a crowd. What entertained the crowd was the racism, right? We're going to laugh at black people and black people's plights.
Yeah. But
it depends. Like it all depends on what the joke is. And with Steven Crowder, a lot of the jokes is like Asian people weird, Asian people funny, as like a thing, not the stereotype itself. Because again, we get the context when the first chance Asian Crowder gets to make fun of an Asian person that he doesn't like, he goes for it in the worst way possible.
I still think that aggressively Asian face is a hilarious statement.
Because you like him. That's why. This isn't... Like,
sure, yes, I am nitpicking and biased. Congratulations.
That's what you've been doing the entire time.
You like something that is racist.
Okay, fine. You are nitpicking and biased, and so am I. Congratulations.
Again, you're either a racist or a useful idiot for racist.
Wait, what about when he called Sam Cedar's eyes? What about his comments about Sam Cedar's eyes, though?
What do you mean?
What do you say about his eyes?
He's calling him like velveteen rabbit eyes. talking about his Jewish beady eyes.
When a black person calls something racist, he's being a histrionic pansy.
All it is, you just
that is what you just did.
and you don't want him to have bad words associated.
Yeah,
with it, even
okay,
if it's
you buy. I agree with you on a lot of stuff. What would you say on like? Do you believe Steven Crowder's like intent could be actually racist behind the Asian jokes? If he overly makes them stuff, I don't watch him stuff, so I don't know. But I mean, it's possible he could be crossing that intent boundary where he's trying to like, yeah. Do you reckon?
So here's like two things. What? Number one, I don't think making stereotypical jokes is necessarily racist. Okay.
Yeah,
but number two, if you're asking me if it is possible, yes, it is possible. I haven't seen any evidence of it. Just saying he is making stereotypical jokes is not evidence of racist intent or racist outcome.
Wait, hey, chill. What is the point behind aggressively Asian face? Because that looks at you're Asian, and that's the joke, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely
gay guys
wait. Again, that points to me. Again, he did answer the question. He said, "Yeah," but that's like that. That's why I would qualify that as a racist joke. It's not just talking about race, or like, hey. It's not just talking about race in a particular way or highlighting something from a racial perspective or point of view.
The joke is they're Asian.
Yeah, that's it. The joke is, hey, this person Asian.
Okay.
That's
racist.
No.
Yeah.
So
see, your boy would agree.
No. He said so. He finally said it.
There we go.
Hold on. Now, does that mean that the person is racist? No. Does that mean that the entire no? Does that in any way? Do you have any evidence that this joke increases racism in a society? You have no evidence.
Yeah,
this is all
I have a better question. What would you need to see to like show that like Steven Crowder is racist? What would you need to see? What would you need to see to show Steven Crowder is racist?
Like personal DMs or some shit.
The sky's the limit on this one. I don't know about that question.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
We can't read people's minds, so like, theoretically, there is no evidence that could do it.
Yes, there is. I linked a video.
Just stop.
You linked a video that you can't demonstrate intent from actions.
Again, the intent does. If you're doing racist shit all the time, then you're a racist. Full stop.
Can we just?
Doesn't matter your intent.
I don't care. Why are you all answering for a question I didn't ask anyone for? I asked your boy.
Because you want to dunk and we don't care about your dunk. That's why.
Chill. We're on the same side.
You need to fucking chill.
I know, but I don't like you.
That's it. Problem.
Oh fuck!
Like, dude, you need to fucking calm down. Take a fucking chill pill.
You need to calm down. Take a chill pill.
What would you need to
see? See, like that right there. That was a homophobic slur because he sounded lispy.
What?
Your boy. What?
Was it?
God.
What?
Damn,
So Krem is gay, dude. Leave him alone.
I'm not gay. Stop that.
Wait, Kermit. Are you saying that, or are you saying that it would be bad if you were gay? Why is being gay a problem?
That's totally what I'm saying. That's totally what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
There we fucking go. He's a homophobe. That's a homophobic.
Yes, I am. I have said it in my chat. I have said it multiple times.
But yeah, so free.
Oh fuck.
You would agree the joke's
I
racist.
also think, by the way, that homophobic jokes are funny. I'm sorry to say that, but jokes are funny. Get over it.
Yeah, boy. What would you need to see for you to say Crowder is racist? What would he need to do or say or whatever?
I mean, like, racism is the belief that I would need to see a statement that says that he actually believes that racism is true.
Like you need him to come out on stage and like basically like elucidate like I hate X.
I mean, you have to have enough. There would have to be enough context to prove that he has that belief.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, dude.
Literally impossible.
If you're going to say that somebody has that you can read their minds, you have to provide enough context to demonstrate that is their belief.
We're not reading minds. I don't know if we keep saying that. We are like taking the statements he made and like
that is what you're doing. You're trying to read somebody's mind based off of a fucking joke.
The problem here is that you can't call literal chattel slaveholders racist. Don't you think that's like a kind of useless method of analysis?
Here's the thing. That, if you are okay with slavery, I think it is pretty fun to say that you're at the very least bigoted or you are. I mean, what? If we are.
I mean, what if you just think it's okay to own people? You don't think they're necessarily like inferior or anything. You just want to own people.
So
Listen,
there,
you're
you
just here for
could
the money.
say, technically
But you're just
speaking,
in it for
if
the cash,
somebody
bro.
is engaging in
Chasing the
slavery, that
bag.
is racist.
Hold on. If we're talking about
But
if you
at that
if
point,
you
you would
say
say that there are other things wrong with them that are just as bad, and frankly
I'm gonna
speaking, you could still condemn them.
no, I'm gonna call them racist. Even if you talk about like slavery specifically, the institution of slavery was literally about race. It is specifically about the superiority of the white race and the inferiority of other races.
But
Right?
so Free, the disagreement.
That's not true.
The disagreement here, Free, is
Yeah,
like
what
he
if,
would
what if
agree.
you're what if
Free,
you're
he
advocating for the Roman model?
He
How
would
about
agree
that?
the
or
joke
the
is
current
racist.
model in Africa,
of
where
course,
like
I'm talking.
it's
I'm
not
not
built on
talking.
racism, right? You can be a
Yeah,
slave or not be a racist.
again,
I mean, I think there are some high-profile examples of there are some high-profile examples of people at that time contemporaneously saying, "I despise that slavery exists," and yet they are engaging in slavery. In which case, you would just call them a hypocrite and a coward.
No, I still call them fucking racist, right? They would still, even those people would still like look at the inferiority of black people, and this is because they say like they don't agree.
I think you need to get a bit more educated there, because there were a lot of people who were like, yeah, slavery is bad, but freedom for black people is worse. Like that was a really common thing, actually.
That's actually what like Abraham Lincoln like.
Oh my god, this nigga's making he's making his argument so dumb, bro. Like it's so stupid. He's like, oh yeah, this supposed to be. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up and let me talk. Let me defend you, bro, because you're hurting the argument, bro.
He's a racist.
No shit. You keep saying this like I didn't know this. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah.
So I think like just making a homophobic joke doesn't make you homophobic. I think you're just
but if you make
making a bad joke, or you're making a funny
you
joke.
also like target gay people specifically for some weird like vendetta, like I think that's a little.
But listen, what you're providing right now is that magical phrase called context.
You keep saying like
we understand the context, and that's why we're looking at the context and not at our perceptions of his intent, because that's not context. That's shit going on in your head.
Yeah, so you buy agree.
The only context you've provided is that he said a joke that is racist. That doesn't necessarily mean
he said he
that
is
it's promoting racism or that he's a racist.
Did you not?
Groups of people.
Did you not agree earlier that if someone's overly making jokes, targeting the thingy, then that's where you can question their intent, because it's clearly targeting a specific, topic of jokes or whatever.
Well, yeah, but if you look at Steven Crowder, he's not doing that. I mean, there's like a lot of other contexts of him doing characters, doing other national characters. He does French face, he does United Kingdom face, he does Russian face. It's like it's kind of
in a way.
His racism is
come the fuck on, boo fucking boo. All right, Grace, pause for a second.
If I were to try,
I'm going to say a radical statement. Okay, you are allowed to joke about the innate aspects of other people. Okay, if you're short, I can joke about that. If you're ugly, I can joke about that. Those jokes are perfectly legitimate. It doesn't matter if it hurts your fucking feelings.
That's not the
Get
point.
over it.
No one makes an
I don't think anyone's attacking the legitimacy of the jokes. What the
all
fuck?
of these innate things, right? You can make jokes about somebody for being trans. You can make jokes about somebody for being
you're
gay.
tilting at
You can
windmills.
make jokes. That's perfectly
okay, so
fine.
what is the argument against you?
You're tilting at windmills.
Statement.
I don't know what that.
All right, that's not tilting a windmill. Somebody literally just said that, like doing
No
Russian
one
face.
in this conversation has attacked the legitimacy of making jokes.
You're hiding under covers.
Pause for a second. You either didn't hear it or you're not understanding. Somebody, I don't know who. When I brought up that Steven Crowder has done other jokes about other ethnicities, French people, United Kingdom, other things like that, and done those characters, it's brought up. Well, that's bigoted too. And all right, listen. You can joke about somebody for being French. Okay? That's perfectly fucking fine. Those innate characteristics, okay? Your culture, your music, your dress, people can joke about those things. Nothing is off topic.
Yeah. And if you make those jokes constantly with for some reason, like always, and then like you pick it up on it and forget it. Never mind.
Yeah, you can't make the argument.
It's okay, bro. It's okay.
Well, the important part is the consistent signaling.
I'm not. That's why I'm back.
Now listen. Here's the thing. If Steven Crowder only did blackface, okay?
Oh my God!
You would have
Jesus,
a stronger
stop!
argument.
No. You're again, the problem is your bars here are so fucking high that just no one falls into these categories. KKK members don't fall into these categories. Fucking no one does.
Bullshit.
Absolutely true.
That's
No,
not true. Bullshit.
so many
Bullshit.
people.
Bullshit. Your
So
bar is
many
so low that
people.
everybody falls
Hold on.
Oh my god.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
I've said before that
Yo,
intent matters. I said before that belief matters.
Hey, your boy.
Exactly, that's your problem.
Yes, my problem is that when I judge somebody's character, I think you should actually
No,
judge
I'm not
somebody's
asking to
character
judge
based on
their character. No one here
asking-
at any point has asked you to judge any character. What we're talking
Bullshit.
about is
That is
what
absolute
we are talking about is what effect people have on the world.
No, that's bullshit, all right? Saying that somebody is racist is not, oh, I'm not judging your character. You're just a little bit like, you're just a little different. That's bullshit. Calling somebody racist in this society today is tantamount to calling somebody tantamount to total social exclusion.
No,
you are judging
if
somebody's
someone
character
is a
by accusing somebody of being racist.
your boy, you're so close. If someone is a murderer, we are judging them for their impact on the world. We in fact judge people for their impact on the world all the fucking time.
Okay, all right. Here's a magical thing. You have zero evidence.
Yes,
that
we do. I
racial
posted it
jokes
already.
Oh my God.
I already posted it. I posted it earlier. I've said this 3 times now. Stop being stupid.
Doesn't this will go back to?
What was I gonna say? You don't have evidence of.
Fundamental misunderstanding.
I'm saying racist jokes don't make people racist.
Apparently, we
Like,
have no evidence that a racist person is racist.
Like you've taken the
Oh, right,
position.
right,
You've
right,
taken
Unless
you've
like
taken
saying
the
that video
equally-
a
games
racist
cause
person
violence.
can
You have
say
to
he's
prove
racist, but
that.
you wouldn't believe it because it could just be a
And
joke.
we have evidence for these things, unlike with a video
You have
game
evidence that
thing.
video games cause violence?
No, you fucking idiot.
What?
That is exactly
What
the
does that have
opposite
to
of
do
what's
with
saying.
anything?
We
Wait, I
don't
thought
have
we were
the-
being polite here,
the
guys.
opposite. We have the opposite of video games. We have evidence for like racist, like content and like discussion can lead to like more racist like thoughts. That's just
All right.
like you were
It kind of doesn't think Nick Fuentes is racist. There's no point in
All right,
his
okay.
position.
that media
All right.
doesn't influence people at all, which is equally
All
retarded.
right, all right. Media doesn't influence people at all. Then do video games cause violence? And what is the
I said?
exact
I'm saying that's the
delineation?
position you're taking, which is equally.
Is my microphone? My microphone is working. And these niggas are just fucking being assholes. Yo, my output. I'm about to turn my shit up, bro. No. Yo. Alright. Hello.
I'm talking about the fucking link between saying racist shit like jokes and somebody hearing it and be like, you know what? Maybe you got a point. Blacks are stupid, and then becoming racist.
Like that's the entire.
I can't believe you actually think that though. The fact that you said that, you've just caused others to think that is true. Oh my gosh.
People read books.
I can't understand you because of your accent. Can you say that again louder this time and say it with
stop being racist, bro.
Can you say it with your chest and stop being a pussy? Can you say it with your chest?
Yeah, say that again, but in American. Thank you.
Yeah, in
American. Very aggressively foreign right now.
Like,
right.
people come up with their own
what the fuck?
crazy shit, bro. Like,
what was that laugh?
Do you think the alt-right pipeline does not exist?
It doesn't.
I think that's deeply histrionic bullshit, frankly speaking.
No way.
Using these words to figure it out like
I mean, honestly, when you're like saying the alt-right pipeline, I think that your dad laid your pipe. I don't know what you're really fucking talking about.
I just want to say one thing.
Excuse me. There's been multiple studies on how the media has led to radicalization.
Shut up. For all those concerned, this guy is actually racist. Just so you know. Just saying.
Which guy is actually racist?
I've been saying it, man.
This
I've
guy
been saying
is actually racist.
He's either a racist or a useful idiot for racist.
Just saying, say what you will about little J-Boz, but that's
all right. So like this right here, I'm sorry, dude, but there's no communication. Like this thing.
We're not. Wait.
No. Stop.
You've communicated plenty, dude. We're looking at what you're saying.
We're not discussing. We're not discussing. Stop responding to me. We're not having a discussion.
There's no common ground here.
You don't need to.
Do you believe that he's racist?
There's no common ground.
There is common ground. We understand what you're saying and are drawing conclusions from it.
Excuse me. This is what brings me back to the original topic that I was. This brings me back to the original topic that I was proposing. Is there possibility for common ground? And I'm sorry, dude. There's no possibility. If me expressing just these opinions makes me racist. Racism is the belief in the superiority or the inferiority of the races. I don't have that belief.
Literal definition is completely useless in the real world.
My response to that is, I don't have that belief. Go fuck yourself.
That's a fundamental mischaracterization.
And at that point, there is zero room for any kind of compromise, because the left-wing views use these positions, which are fucking common positions.
By the way, a law be racist.
With these races, with racist.
Yo, boy, can a law be racist?
Sure.
How? Laws don't have any beliefs. They're documents.
No, because of the intent of the people who created the laws, and of course also because of the.
That's not the law itself. That's the intent of the lawmakers. I'm asking about the law.
Stop for a second. You're being fucking autistic and stupid about this. The Supreme Court has ruled about this consistently, that you do have to take the intent of the people who are creating the law into account. Go fuck yourself. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you saying you rely on the Supreme Court for a definition of what is racist?
Honest truth between you and me.
Do you not think for yourself?
Supreme Court. All right. Go fuck yourself. At this point, you're just being disingenuous.
The Supreme Court is a decent.
There's no disingenuous. Yes, I'm asking you.
That's
not how to analyze things.
That was all right. Humanity. How many statistical analysis? How many broad-based statistical analysis have you done?
I don't see what it has to do with anything.
No. Stop. Answer the question. How many have you done?
Didn't catch everything you said. I would guess 0.
How many scientific studies have you performed?
Like 2.
How many?
Scientific studies from other people, so that we don't.
How many times have you been published in a scientific journal?
Oh
0.
my gosh, this is
0. Okay. Yet you use scientific journals to influence your opinion. Do you just fucking think yourself?
No, don't do this.
Indeed, I will read the actual data that they have. I will compare different things and see what's going on.
And listen.
Crazy.
I'm sorry to say this, but I think the Supreme Court.
But I don't rely on them for definitions.
Well, I think that they're a good place to at least start for definitions. The Supreme Court has some moral authority, them being the highest court in the world.
No, they don't. That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. The Supreme Court has upheld slavery before. They have no moral authority.
Legal authority is not moral authority. Number one.
I think that they stem
does the modern Supreme Court have moral authority?
Guys, be nice. Somebody's going to take his ball and go home.
I'm telling you,
this is a stupid line of argument.
I'm telling you, this is naked ape. I 100%.
I'm sorry to say that I do use. I'm sorry to say that I do use the Supreme Court to inform my opinion on things. Yes, I don't. I also haven't written every book that I read.
What's your thing? That's fine. No one's saying
very relevant.
No one's. But you're operating
legal.
You're operating under a very weird definition of racism. That's just very strange. The way you.
Well, I mean, the definition of
racism. That's just not what we're talking about.
So, like, what's the definition you guys are using? Because the way that you guys, please stop. The way that you guys have expressed your, the way that you guys have expressed your definition of racism so far, is made it seem to me like it could apply to fucking anybody.
Okay,
it just makes it useless to call someone a racist.
Let me characterize racism for you. Racism is not a moralization over your personal beliefs. It's an upholding of a systemic system that is used to oppress people.
Oh, bullshit.
Wait, hold on. That's
fucking bullshit.
Please stop. Stop. Wait, let me ask you a clarifying question.
Okay,
so if I believe all people, no matter the race, are equal, right? There's no difference in the racial groups, morally, spiritually, whatever the fuck, right? Biologically, whatever.
Right.
But I happen to like BBC porn, right? So I like watching porn where big black men fuck little white women.
Sure.
And this, in some way, contributes to the racist system, right? And to the kind of stereotypes that exist. No, because you said racism is upholding the racist system, right?
Okay, well, yeah. Okay.
So by your definition,
I don't think your liking it changes the degree to which it's upheld.
Stop. So by that definition, someone who is absolutely not a racist personally, but enjoys BBC porn is still a racist. So that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Again, you're operating under a weird definition. Black people can be racist to other black people.
Your racism definition is totally useless.
No, it's not. That's how
it makes no sense.
No.
A person is a racist when they uphold the racist system.
It's a completely modern invention.
What's the thing?
Nobody in modern in common parlance, nobody uses that word. So here's the issue, right?
You never heard of systemic
for
racism?
decades.
You've never heard of
decades
systemic
we have
racism.
used
We're not talking about.
Okay,
hold on. We need to fucking make a distinction here. Are you guys talking about like systemic racism? Or are you
Racism is systemic.
Or are you calling a person, an individual, racist? Because they're
Racism
different
is
things.
systemic inherently. That's the nature of the issue. It's
Okay, you're not listening. Are you?
All right, at this point,
right now, is that an individual? Please stop. Is it that an individual person is a racist, or are you discussing systemic racism?
I think we're talking about individual.
I'm saying individual.
Yeah. So why the fuck you point to the system?
Because that's like the thing that matters. We can't know what's going on inside people's heads. All we have to work with. All we have to work with.
What are you talking about?
All we have to work. Oh yeah, but they could be fucking lying, dude. All we have to work with is their. All we have to work with. All we have to work with. All we have to work with. All we have to work with is the impact they have on those systems.
Yo,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and yet there's. So like that, frankly speaking, I think that's like a new definition, and like the issue is that you're changing the definition of
came into
racism.
existence. Who cares?
Okay, look.
Because
the question should be: is this a more or less useful definition? Does this help us resolve racist problems easier or worse?
The answer is it doesn't. It is stupid. It is meaningless. It is vague. It cannot be properly applied. There is no actual.
Why are you saying
so? Let's wind back from this a little bit, though.
Yeah.
What do you think about the whole like Section 230 thing? Because you said you don't believe a pipeline exists, but I believe the entire thing here.
This was
I feel like the entire thing about this case here is that there's a pipeline that exists and that Google is liable for it. That's why they're in front of the Supreme Court.
DB came here to add some nuance to this debate, and you're just gonna fucking derail it like this?
Okay, Google is in front of the Supreme Court for the alt-right pipeline.
In a way, yes. It's over their liability over
one of the leaders of alt-right.
I wasn't aware of that. Can you like post a link in like the chat and I'll read up on that? That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'll DM you about it later.
If you're the leader of the alt-right pipeline, can you show me the tubes?
Hold opposition.
I need install some fresh tubes.
Is the alt-right pipeline in the room right now? Did the alt-right pipeline touch you? It's just, this is just like a fantasy. It's just like this left-wing conspiracy theory.
You know what?
There's no evidence
you do not believe the alt-right pipeline does not exist is because you are stuck in it and you are consuming media saying it does not exist. It's the same with the Flat Earth Society. It's literally the same with the Flat Earth Society. If you consume flat Earth
you saying
media,
that is just so
then
disingenuous.
how is it disingenuous?
Because you don't know.
I don't know why you would object to this construction.
Yes, because I have tested it. I have tested it and proven that it exists.
It was. People clearly did enter the right when we this alt-right movement. When we look at the kinds of things, the artifacts that the people in the alt-right created, they tended to talk about specific content creators. Calling that a pipeline seems perfectly reasonable. I don't know why you would object to it.
The reason why I disagree with this is I think this, number one, it's a mischaracterization of. I don't think there is any evidence that you can suggest that there is an actual link of one person moving from one content creator to the other because they are next to each other. That I think is
the thing is,
no real
algorithms literally feed people more extreme content.
Isn't the movement of a person
do you have any evidence
from
of
one
that?
content to
That doesn't
another?
seem to be any evidence.
That's why Google's being sued right now, man.
I was radicalized.
So the only kind of evidence you're going to have for this is going to be essentially longitudinal. And since there weren't any studies on this at the time that I know of, all we're left with is anecdote.
The other issue I have with the idea of the alt-right hotline,
it sure seems like a lot of people did move like this. Now I don't know if it's like a socially significant force. I don't think the alt-right was ever that big, but it certainly existed. As to whether it's significant, that's a more interesting question.
The other reason why I don't agree with the alt-right pipeline is because I think it's ahistorical. I think what happened was there was the invention of this alternative right. Nobody really knew what the fuck it was. There were people who saw this and like hopped in. There was anywhere from anarcho-capitalists to monarchists, and of course the National Socialist racists, and people from like Steve Bannon, who I have not seen. I could be convinced otherwise. I have not seen any evidence of Steve Bannon being a white supremacist. He said that he was like going to be the leader of the alt-right, or like Breitbart was going to lead them. What it seems to me that happened is that everybody thought that this was like a political grassroots movement like the Tea Party, and then people like Richard Spencer, that fucking douchebag, in combination with the mainstream media, got more attention than everybody else, drowned it out, and changed it from this weird amalgamation of racists and non-racists to only racists. That's what I think actually happened.
You're describing how social movements work.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that I don't think that when Richard Spencer. I don't think that when Richard Spencer took over,
he's describing how we would see something like an alt-right pipeline come into existence.
No. Listen to me. I don't think that the anarcho-capitalist suddenly turned into a national socialist. I think what happened is that all of the alt-right, all of the people who were national socialists gathered around Richard Spencer and everybody else, thought for bullshit and instantly dropped it when that's what it became.
So point of order. Hold on. Just to correct something. Richard Spencer coined the term alt-right.
No, he didn't.
He says that.
Coined the term alt-right.
It's up to debate, honestly.
The term alt-right was posed by somebody else, like in 2012.
Do you think we saw an increase in the messaging of the alt-right in the population that subscribed to these content creators?
All right, let me say yes, but the reason why is because the media gave them attention. I think that if you actually want to know the cause of the alt-right's existence, you can put the blame entirely on MSNBC, Vice, and these other media news networks that gave Richard Spencer attention. That's the issue.
That doesn't change whether the pipeline exists. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, back in 2016, was there actually big news organizations covering the fact that there was leading media figure, or not leading media figures, but media figures in terms of I'm gonna watch Argon of Saqqad, and then I'm gonna watch fucking Stefan Molyneux, and then what do you know? Now I have fucking Richard Spencer in my feed. Is that not a real thing that happens to people?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, no, I think
clearly
think he agrees it exists. It's just the difference of what it is.
You can
this isn't worth getting stuck on. This is not worth getting stuck on.
He was just arguing that it was covered. Was it covered back in 2014 to 2016 when this shit was actually in its infancy and blowing the fuck up?
I don't think that the existence of Richard Spencer in the same quote-unquote media sphere would lead one to jump from Sargon of Akkad to Richard Spencer.
No, that's why there's bridges. There's people that gap the bridge. Sargon wouldn't go straight to Richard because Richard
you're
Spencer,
have
he'd hang out with people
for
who would
that.
hang out with
social media algorithms.
I mean, there's a Sean video on it if you want to look at it. I can go from my personal other people.
I don't know. I do not know how much you know about social media algorithms, but this is exactly what we would expect, right? The more you consume of a particular kind of content, the more of that kind of content the algorithm's going to search for. And generally people in that kind of environment get more extreme over time, regardless of how the environment's being constructed. That's just how it works. This is how you build a cult, by the way.
Well, they're already predisposed, though, right?
To some extent, sure, but they still need to actually go down the pipeline.
Well, I have not read any evidence that this has actually happened. This is equivocating. This is yes, it's possible the algorithm is doing this. Frankly speaking, I find it.
The way social media algorithms work is they want the most interactions. They don't care what you're actually interacting with. So it would suggest stuff to you that you're more likely to, end up liking, retweeting, and type thing. That's why those connections happen. And it'd happen with the left, the alt left or the left wing or whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing would happen. But that's partially why the alt-right pipeline, happened.
So the only thing that I've seen written about this was I think it's a Washington Post article with somebody who said I was radicalized, and how he experienced that is after he was radicalized, he was de-radicalized by the same algorithm suggesting left-wing content. And it's I think you're going to have to provide me a lot of evidence to suggest that this radicalizes people in one direction, that it is necessarily...
It's not in one direction or the other direction. It's just describing one of the directions that people do go in.
The algorithm is fair. Jesus fuck. The algorithm is content neutral. The algorithm just pushes you toward extremes because of the way it tends to suggest things.
Okay, good.
Because of the way that it prioritizes engagement.
Why do you think it pushes? It is just as reasonable for me to say as somebody who's a fan of Richard Spencer will be blue-pilled by Sargon of Akkad as for you to say that somebody who's a fan of Sargon of Akkad is red-pilled by Richard Spencer. I don't think there's any evidence that people were moving along this pipeline in one direction. In fact, frankly speaking, I think there's probably more evidence of the opposite, but I haven't seen the evidence. You're just equivocating and creating a conspiracy theory.
No, I agree, right? It definitely happens in both directions. I think the reason why the alt-right is highlighted so much is because they're associated with the more violent side. So if you go down that pipeline, you're more likely to be
what
violent.
are you talking about? BLM literally like burned down cities.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Literally, damn.
Whoa. There's difference in it. Before you make that comparison, there is differences in degrees that are stark, and we can see them.
I mean, are there really? Because
the other by a significant
the Black Lives Matter riots did kill like 30 people during the riots. Like that is pretty bad.
Let's not derail.
How many people did the alt-right kill?
Well, no, like you can't say that like, oh, the right side is more. No, you're saying that the fucking right is like more violent when the left is just as violent.
Let's not talk about this. Let's get back to the pocket. There's no evidence that there is a right alt-right pipeline.
Yes, there is. I just linked 4 sources. 4 sources, man. That's 5
sources, dude.
General Voice, and I'm
so your boy.
So the alt-right pipeline is what we're calling about the behaviors that happen with these recommendations to lead people to go down these routes. It's not that it's a specific thing designed that happens here, man.
No, okay, here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing that the algorithm exists. I'm disagreeing with the idea that it will necessarily make one move towards the right. Or
that's not what anyone's claiming.
That's not what anybody is saying. That's just the content.
They already made a concession that is content neutral. So that doesn't.
It's like the
algorithm itself is content neutral, right? The interesting thing about the alt-right pipeline is that it ended up organizing a how do I describe this? Like a measurable social thing, right? Because usually we're just seeing people kind of flop around inside like individual content creator communities, and that's not as interesting. It's not as juicy, right? But with the alt-right, they actually tried to do that political organizing stuff. They all that stuff. So that meant it got a different kind of attention, got a different kind of segmenting, and it was very clear that we'd gone from having no social movement like this to suddenly having the social movement, largely driven by these content engines, and then it kind of like died out again.
I think that's disingenuous. I mean, if you're going to like measure excuse me, that's not disingenuous. I think that's inaccurate. If you're going to like measure the impact of this, I think that Richard Spencer getting interviews by the media and being hailed as the representative of this movement by the mainstream media did way more than fucking YouTube algorithms, dude.
Yeah, you probably.
The only reason he got to that position was because of the pipeline stuff.
Like looking at somebody to blame, you should blame the media.
I'm not concerned with blame.
No. Yeah, you're right. You basically agree.
If you're talking about causality, what caused the alt-right to exist,
we are concerned with blame here. It seems to be at least what some of us are doing.
I think that's what the main difference of thingy is. Like, you pretty much agree. Like the pipeline does exist, but obviously, if you want to say that it doesn't, but it exists in the other direction as well. It exists in the other direction as well.
Yes.
But the problem here is obviously
it exists in all fucking directions. This is also why we got massive. One moment. This is also why we got massive rises in conspiracy videos very suddenly on YouTube. It went from being super fringe to being super like a big market because of the way these content algorithms work. Right? Once you watch a little conspiracy stuff, well, all of your feed shifts to more conspiracy stuff. Blah blah blah. It's the same for all the content. Doesn't matter.
Well, I think what your boy is arguing here. I think what your boy's arguing.
This is a.
I think what your boy's arguing is the alt-right pipeline has done less damage than the media has done.
Well, you say it doesn't exist.
I agree with that, but the media is also like really big in comparison. So
yeah. Like, I'd agree. Like,
all right, so your boy, a lot of people have sent you a lot of links and stuff. Can you just take some time to read it?
I'm reading like Kermit's. Most of those are bullshit, but I'm reading one that is.
How are they bullshit? How are they bullshit? Please.
You posted like Wikipedia, and you posted this one blog post about somebody that was radicalized, then unradicalized.
Come on, there's nothing wrong with Wikipedia. Come on, that's so 2016.
No, don't you know?
My teacher said
you
not
guys
to
have
use
to
it. It must
realize
be
you're
bad.
arguing with a log cabin Republican. Okay.
Stop. It doesn't matter.
Which one is the
guys? They have willful negligence.
Right. Well, let's just clarify.
Ignorance.
You
boy and say humanity or someone. What is? Oh, humanity's left. What is the main disagreement here?
I keep telling you. You gotta learn. Look, you gotta learn how to. You guys gotta learn how to argue with the log cabin Republican. Otherwise, you're just gonna kill each other in the future.
I found a study that I sent your boy on my.
He's not gonna read it. Don't link it to him. He's not gonna read it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna send it anyway because I want to. Thanks for your advice.
I'm reading it right now, and
what is a log cabin Republican? What is that?
I just think it's crazy. You just flat out deny its existence because it's literally in front of the Supreme Court right now. It's the genesis of the case. The entire backing.
Well, would you say?
I don't like the Republican Party, so I wouldn't consider myself a log cabin Republican.
He said something. I want to hear what she said.
She was asking what a log cabin Republican is. It's just a gay Republican. That's what the term is.
And I'm not a Republican. I consider myself right-wing, but I hate the Republican Party.
What's the main disagreement here? What is the main disagreement?
Oh my god, why the alt-right pipeline exists?
Honestly,
do you not agree it exists?
I'm reading a thing right now. I think that
I agree with a lot of you and stuff. I'd say it exists but it's not specifically the alt-right that only exists.
Nobody said it exists.
Yeah, we're not saying no other pipeline exists. We're just saying this is one thing that exists.
Yeah, but I mean, he's basically agreeing with it, just not specifically saying it exists at this point.
They won't accept any criticism that leans it towards the right without posturing it towards the left. So he's completely saying that yes, there is a pipeline, but he will probably say that the leftist pipeline is more troublesome.
Do you guys believe that
there's such a common tactic of you lipshits in this fucking room? Stop putting words in my goddamn mouth.
You are.
You just spent 10 minutes trying to explain how the right-wing pipeline was not.
Do you believe that a trans kid pipeline exists, like exposing children to gender, shit, drag queens, etc.? Do you think that might influence them in some way toward uncommon gender identities?
Yeah. Uncommon gender identities?
Yeah.
Meaning?
Attack
like non-binary,
not cis,
like identifying
like
with a cat.
not common, not man or woman. What the fuck?
Minority. You could just say minority.
Yes.
What's wrong with saying uncommon? They're uncommon. Like, why do you get away?
Hey, don't jump down on his throat on just one word. I just wanted some clarification on that. Jesus Christ.
Well, hold on. They are uncommon, right? Like you understand that.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
There's nothing wrong with saying that. So do you believe that exists?
I just didn't understand
do you believe
what
that
you
pipeline exists, that it could influence children in that way?
Yes.
Could influence?
Yeah, influence. Yes.
Influence in the way that if they're already predisposed to that, like mentally, then sure.
That's interesting. So do you believe that the alt-right pipeline only works on people who are already mentally on the path toward becoming racist?
Thank you. Yes.
No, they have like so what do you call it when you have like a gene that makes you predisposed to a certain type of behavior?
What? What?
Wait, can Ephemeral answer that question?
Wait, what was the question again?
There's a term I'm looking for. But it's like basically they are primed.
I can't hear Doobie.
Do you believe, because you said if children are primed or they're like actually that certain gender, right, exposing them to that thing maybe will lead them to their true actual gender identity. Okay. So I'm wondering if you believe the alt-right pipeline works the same way. So people that are exposed to it, the only people that are going to go down the pipeline or the rabbit hole are the ones who are already primed to be racist or whatever the fuck.
I have no comment on that. I'm not as
Why?
Oh, you pussy.
So I can imagine.
I have a better example. Hold on, your boy. Do you think because of the popularization in terms of representation of gay people in the media, we have ergo created an effective gay pipeline for young gay boys?
I am still
I am for the existence of radicalized femboys, sure. I know that's a bullshit thing to say, but...
Radicalized femboys?
Well, what?
What's a radicalized femboy?
You ever seen
We're gonna find out.
Those femboys with those Hitler costumes?
Oh, me.
Oh, yeah, those.
Oh my god.
So, Doobie, are you saying that
it, right?
it's like the crux of your question is whether people could be like predisposed to be racist?
Yeah, I don't. So to be clear, I don't agree with you, right? I think that exposing children, even children who weren't primed to be gay or trans or question their gender, or whatever the fuck, can absolutely influence them to do those things when they otherwise wouldn't have, right? Yeah. Even just to like experiment with it. So, yeah. and I think it works the same way with the alt-right pipeline, right? So if that's a thing, and I think it is, then yeah, people who otherwise wouldn't have had those beliefs might end up having those beliefs. So, but I'm curious as to like why you would believe one side so like wholeheartedly and have questions about influence in other ways, right? Like with the gender thing.
As far as
it seems like you're reluctant to agree.
I can't hear you over these people.
It seems like you're reluctant to agree that exposing children to uncommon gender identities or forms of gender expression would influence them in any way.
You know, Doobie, you're bringing
that's
up a
not
really
what
good
I
fucking
said.
point, and
That's
I'm
not what I
not.
said. I'm saying that you seem reluctant to do it.
Anyway, I
to
gotta get back
manage-
to work. I've taken like a really long lunch.
Shut
I
up,
can do that. My
go.
job is super nice. But
He's not
I,
actually
like,
gonna work.
I wanted to
Phil.
like respond, Alva. I can understand what you're saying. I mean, honest truth, I do consider like I don't know. There's not like enough evidence to say this, but I am of the opinion that, and you know, this is just an opinion, not based on a lot of evidence. But it does seem, what I've seen does seem to suggest there is some amount of social contagion that that is in the mix with the identity of LGBT people
no.
in like in Generation Z. I mean, the fact that it's like 20% of them identify as some form of that, and it seems to be a large jump. My feelings are that doesn't seem to be entirely organic.
Aren't you gay?
So, yes.
Wait, so would you say you're the reason why you're gay is because of like social factors, or is it something more
No, I mean,
hereditary?
my actual opinion on that is I think it's like a predisposition that can be like activated by social factors. But like when I'm talking about this specifically, I think that there are people who are like identifying as something out of like because it is like a trans trend, or like it's the popular thing to do, but they aren't actually that thing, or they don't understand it. That's what I think could be happening. But that's just like an opinion. I don't have like a fully formed opinion on that. But like
to go the opposite way, it seems like you would have to limit freedoms almost. Like you're having to limit individual expression. And
I mean, some individual expression and freedom should be limited, right?
Well, I would ask.
I mean, some, but not like if it's not
Yes, why not this
necessary, where like it's shown there isn't damages.
I think we can all concede that we all have things that we limit freedom for on moral grounds. We all have that position in some respect.
Well, I mean, if we're perfectly honest with like about this, I do think it is kind of.
But if it isn't, then you're just limiting it due to posturing and not based.
Well,
on
I mean, in cases like this, like my opinion is that the parents should be allowed to like tell their children and try to teach their children their values, and eventually we will figure out which values are correct, because the correct values will live on and the incorrect values will not live on.
So
because they won't reproduce.
No, this.
You want conversion?
No, that's not what I said.
Sounds like you want conversion.
No, that's not what I said.
Conversion therapy is fine if
But
people are
that's
consenting.
that's not what I said. Anyway, Alva, you had a question?
So something I was going to point out is like there was a common study in the UK after a book came out that was like hyper transphobic against trans men, male to female or female to male, and it was pointing out how there was a major increase in the presence and the asking for medical care by trans men. But when you looked into the research, it actually showed that the spike in numbers of trans men actually equally correlated with the appearance and awareness of them in the media and like as a real thing. And so what I would point out to you to say is like, although it's not 100% determined, I would expect that this to be more likely something that like, it's not 100% decipherable, granted, but like I would say it's more likely that it's actually a factor of like people are more commonly becoming aware of the fact that they can be gay without social harassment or pressure, or be trans without social harassment or pressure, and not feel the urge to repress it. So there's less statistical awareness of that even being present in the population in the first place.
I can understand that argument from the left wing, that it's just like a reduction of oppression is allowing this self-expression. I personally, I don't think there's any evidence or any studies on this right now that we can actually draw that from. I'm personally skeptical of that, because it seems like going from like 2% of the population to 20% of the population. I know I'm kind of like ham-fisting right there.
Well, it's not 20%. It'd be like of like a one generation. Which
Another good example of this is mental health issues.
The growth from the growth from like millennials to Generation Z has been exponential to a point that I don't think that you can just say that's just oppression is limited. I think at some point that growth does seem to be inorganic. It's just, that's just like a gut reaction.
Yeah,
my response to that, we will never know that difference. We unless we actually find perfect biological markers in every single individual, we will not even be able to figure out what proportion of those people are genuinely gay or genuinely bisexual or genuinely trans, especially because of the fact that the way those genetics may present may differ upon the person's upbringing. Like, even if we lived in like a perfectly socially liberal society where all transness was accepted, somebody may actively choose to repress that because they do not want to live with that life, like I did for the first 18 years of my life. Like, and another good example of this is like mental health issues. A great example of this, although it kind of goes to your favor, but I am willing to grant it, is like ADHD. ADHD was not something that would be common. We typically would just say, oh, they're just being antsy in class. But once we understood it as like a neurochemical thing, then we started prescribing stimulants. What happened when we started prescribing stimulants? Oh, it became really common, and so people started over-prescribing stimulants. Now there's a better method of devising understanding of who is actually having diagnosable ADHD, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all the people who previously had ADHD are no longer purely like just non-ADHD. They may still experience some symptoms of being ADHD in the similar way that somebody may be experimenting and identifying as bi-curious during this time period, but may fall into more confidence in saying, oh, I'm just gay, or I actually am gay, bi, or oh, I'm just fucking straight.
So I would say that I think it's like, have you guys seen like all of the celebrities have trans kids, and some of them have like 2 trans kids? Like, me seeing that again,
you
this
should
is
probably get back
What
to
are you
work.
talking about? Can you link the names?
What does that have anything to do with?
Elon Musk has one.
wait a second. The conspiratorial thing that I would say is that I understand how that can be like your situation, your argument that
after you leave Midgar. Yes, they put Sephiroth and introduced him early in the fucking game or the remake.
Also
that was for dramatic effect. And Yuffie, so Yuffie came in intergrade. This is a side story that if you read the book.
It's really like going back to what I wanted to talk about is that in-group preference, right?
Yeah, but you base it on looks.
Well, yes, I think like subconsciously, as a living organism, I care about looks because those are a sign of biology.
Yeah, again, but it means you attach specific value to looks more than other genetic markers, for example. Height, maybe. You could choose.
Or again, this is one thing. If I can interject,
mm-hmm.
This is one thing I like to explain because.
You don't want to fall off that.
Yeah. Where's Shauna? I keep losing people. Oh, there we go.
Let's keep going. Where's the next reboot? I'm down here. Okay, let's go towards purple. Or maybe, yeah. Listen.
The race is another dynamic, a real dynamic, a biologically based dynamic, in the sea of other human dynamics, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the main reason is that I think I think we agreed. I think, but the question is the cause why it's a dynamic. That's why that's where we disagree.
Oh no! What?
Hey, the energy just went way
Doesn't
down.
sound right.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit off. Maybe if I go one more.
Yeah.
You need to wait a bit more.
Someone's gonna start freestyling over here.
How close did you get to eating it?
Dude, I remember. I remember when my I had some Tetras that died when I was younger, and we literally had like a little like service like in the bathroom when we flushed them down the toilet. My mom wasn't like, "Well, we'll put it in."
No. He actually doesn't say that in the game.
He does, bro. I came here from another place and another time. Is what he says. Come on.
2 weeks, which is not bad, but I don't know.
It's about the time.
I don't like that they get so scuffed. That's all.
I have my natural scuffed. Nail check.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because I do not take well enough care of my nails.
Oh, I did like
Hey, we have to see now. I want to see your dirty nails.
What?
Show us your dirty nails, Ryder.
Oh, they're not that dirty. It's mostly just my big ones, right? So like I like will gnaw off like the rest of them, but then like my pointer fingers that I use for like actually poking and digging at things like end up staying longer. My thumbs I only ever like clip, so I always get dirt and stuff under my big thumbs and stuff.
That you use for poking things? Do you do a lot of poking?
Yeah, boy. I have a question for you. Would you rather the risk of your
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand that motherfucker talking, bro. That dude is like, oh, so can you rather like it's fucking annoying. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I ain't trying to be fucking mean or anything, but Jesus fucking Christ, that was fucking annoying. That was boring too. Like I can never get back and forth with anyone. And I think I got a back and forth once, but that's about it. Like niggas don't know how to debate. Like the whole joke thing was stupid. Then we went from joke thing to trans and stuff. It's just fucking stupid. Like, oh man, that's why I hate being in a fucking leftist room. Like, in Destiny's Discord, there's always like one conservative, one or two conservatives, and then like fucking 20 leftists just fucking shouting over each other, and it's just like, oh, whatever. Fucking hey, this shit's stupid. But